Jennifer Fox is running for state treasurer. Check her out, guys. I like her a lot.
Okay, so take your power back, shove again, Gator, and then
Gator. I'm Gator.
Gator, sorry. And then you wanted to say this, but he said.
What were you gonna say? Sorry, you're doing.
But he was saying maybe leave that part off. So I don't know.
Okay, got it.
Have fun.
Hi. Okay.
Stuck in traffic. All right, guys. Welcome to today, 1 p.m. Almost 1 p.m. here. Almost the start of Take Our California Back to a Better Future State Summit. Schedule here for today and tomorrow. Right now, you have a panel of state candidates and governor candidates. I was trying to confirm who showed up this morning and who skipped out this morning. We'll find out here shortly. They're getting ready to start. Not many people in the building at the moment, besides the state candidates and the governor candidates. So stay tuned, hang in there. The event should start here shortly. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? It's getting hot.
Minnehaha, Minnie, please come to the booth.
Soft adjective.
Minnie, please come to the booth. Minnie.
I'm just saying, if you need anything, now's the time. Nope. Okay, ma'am. Okay, look, I fixed it. Look, it's all fixed. I I don't know what's happened to the snacks.
Kim, contrary to other beliefs, I will not work for food.
I know, I heard that.
I'm going.
One, two, three, four, five.
right, hang in there, guys. This thing was supposed to start at 1 o'clock. That's 7 minutes ago. So hang in there. Those candidates and state candidates that showed up today, they're here. Those are the ones. For Chase Ryan, welcome. Kenya, Mike, welcome Mots, Uncle Bill, Trina, Katina, Carolyn.
One, two, one, one. One, two, one, two.
Hey brother, how are you? I'm Ramin.
Joe.
Joe, pleasure to meet you. You got a channel?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
IRT Media.
IRT, what the hell's IRT Media?
In real time.
Iranian tech media. Okay, I'm just
Oh,
You okay?
Iranian, yeah.
I'm just joking, man. Cool. You streaming?
Yeah. You?
I'm yeah, let me see.
Look at that.
I gotta get more.
That's all you know, a while ago.
Yeah? Awesome, man. Appreciate you, bro.
Problem.
Yeah, hit me with your channel, please, okay? And
I will.
I can know where to follow you.
All right, for sure.
Appreciate you, man.
Likely.
I don't care.
Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. Ladies, hello. Ladies, check for your phone. I have a ladies' phone left in the ladies' room.
I am a lady. I know who I am. My microphone's on the stage, and then Doug. We have another microphone. I see one. Oh, yeah, they should all be on the stage. Yeah, they should be on the stage because we're getting started. Yes.
And Kim.
And then the microphone master. They should be on for it. So the master goes first. Let's get that ready. Come on.
Ramin, are you available?
Who said this? All right, talk to me. What
I hear that San Joaquin is cherry picking today because of all the rain. That's what I just heard. So, regardless, we've got lots of live streamers. We're going to repurpose this, and we're sold out for dinner tonight. So we're going to make the most of it. We're going to have fun. We're going to start just a couple minutes. Okay.
Testing 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. Ladies and gentlemen. Testing.
That's pretty good. How'd you find it? That's good for a diet.
right, here we go. Oh.
Yeah. Broke the clip.
You look good with the headset on.
We lost the mic stand.
1, 2, 3.
Seriously?
See, stalking me, stalkers.
Posting. There you go. Later on. Starbucks.
What's going on? Here's all the people that make it happen. There you go.
Are we gonna need that one? Then yeah, just bring it down.
Standing by to start. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to start. We're going to decide. We're going to start right now. Thank you.
All right, everybody, thank you for waiting so patiently. We're going to call the candidates back to the media room. Let's call the candidates back to the media room. The Maha team back to the media room. Dr. Doug, Clint Curtis to the media room.
Everyone, please reconnect on your Wi-Fi.
Soup Mama is saying that there's no audio on the live stream right now. Do you know that?
All right, all candidates are in the media room, all teams, and we can. You call it. The live stream is live.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make sure your phones are all in the silent or stun mode. No ringing of phones in the room, please. You guys are ready? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Take Back California. Please welcome to the stage Pastor Mark from the Harvest Bible Church in Stockton.
No.
Let's all stand up. We're going to pray prayer. We're going to believe God for this forum and for this time together. And I'm very thankful because 2 months ago, I actually had a massive heart attack and a cardiac arrest and was dead for over 29 minutes without oxygen and everything. And God brought me back and I'm totally well and whole. And it's a doctor certified miracle. So I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to stand here. It's an honor and a blessing to be here. Amen. So let's give honor to God. Amen. Let's do that. Heavenly Father, we thank you that your grace and your mercy is upon California. Thank you, Father, for all of these candidates that are here that are endeavoring to change our state back to what it was or just even make it even better. Lord, we thank you for righteousness and truth to prevail. Thank you for integrity and honesty. Lord, we honor you and we just give you all the glory. We give you all the praise. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Please stay standing.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Ronald Owens for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through the night. Then our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land and of the free, of the home of the
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host from the Take Back Your Power Back show, Kim Yater.
Take your power back show. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. It is an honor to be here with every single one of you today. We are in San Joaquin. We are taking our California back to a better future. And this is day one of the summit, and you are in for a treat. There's a lot of chatter going on in that room behind me. But between your governor and your state candidates, guys, they are excited. They are ready to bring it. Now, how on earth did we get here? How many of you have been paying attention to what's happening in politics in the state of California? Yes? You certainly have. There are people who had no interest in politics that are now wide awake. And they are tired of what's been happening, and they're saying, you know what, if it's gonna be, it's up to me. Because the truth is, nobody is coming to save us. We already have a savior. It's now up to us to step into that God-given power. This is our state, it's our California, and it's our country. And today we said, we want to bring you the best. And I got to tell you, I'm looking at that room back there. They are the best! These candidates are incredible. Now, you're going to see before you today and tomorrow candidates that are presently here running for governor and state. You're also going to meet Maha leaders today, which are just absolutely exceptional. And we will be zooming in some of our governor candidates. Now let's back up for a second. Why do I do what I do? And I think this is so important that you understand that I'm not just, I'm not into politics. Like, I was one of those people. I said, I'm not into politics, I'm into truth. Guys, I was riding on the coattails of my forefathers. I was raising my 4 babies, all competitive athletes. Life was busy, running my business, truly riding on the coattails of my forefathers who died for this country. That was the awakening for me the day I went to vote. And they said to me, Mr. and Mrs. Yater, my husband and I, you've already voted. And you know what? They had said that to the couple before us. We didn't think much of it. The couple left confused. Well, I looked at them and said, hold on a second, I didn't vote. Can you check that one more time? And they checked. And they said, no, you're good to go. You've already voted. That was the moment I knew something was wrong. And I did fill out a provisional ballot. Do they really look at those ballots? Or do they look at that first ballot? Now, why is that important? Because my vote and my voice matter. Your vote and your voice matter. And because we're in the heart of San Joaquin, this is the breadbasket of California, do we need to protect our water rights? Do we need to protect our food rights? Do we need to elect people that are going to represent the people? Yes? That's exactly what we need to do. So, for me, a mom, business owner, had a show called Take Your Power Back Show. It was that moment that my vote was stolen that began a catapult. From the moment of Choose Summit with Mike Lindell, I met Dr. Douglas G. Frank there, Clint Curtis, Tina Peters. These are your warriors. That was the moment I said, you know what? If it's going to be, it's up to me. You know, God did give me responsibility as one of my core strengths. So that was what led to take our elections back and take our border back, and today, take our California back. God said, put a stake in the ground. This is where you are. What are you going to do about it? You can continue to raise your family, but what environment are you raising them in? What are they learning in their schools? What are they hearing from the doctors who are trying to push the parent out of the room? These are real issues we're dealing with. And the candidates that are here today are bringing it because they're tired. They're tired. They're just like you. They brush their teeth, wash their hair, they go to the bathroom. They're just like you. They love this state. And they didn't leave. They put a stake in the ground. And so did you. So today we're about to bring you something really special. On the heels of the governor showdown that we did in Southern California. Y'all may have caught that. You can find that at takeourcaliforniaback.com. We had 13 amazing governor candidates that showed up, and we brought the real issues to the table. And solutions and conversations are being created that are powerful. Now, fast forward, we're right here today. And it's a big day because you're here. And we've been listening to the questions of the people. We've been bringing that to the table. So our lineup today of governor candidates, we're going to bring those questions on in and give them the space to bring the real solutions, okay? Now, I want to walk you through a couple things. The schedule of today, a little bit of housekeeping. You'll be with us for about 3:30 today. So live streamers, welcome. We're excited to have you. Come on, live streamers. We'll be here at 3:30 today, and we're going to open this up. Then we're going to go into media room. A little bit later today, we'll go into our cocktail time and then the banquet where we're sitting with the governor and state candidates. That's going to be pretty special. We have some raffles and auctions going on. Tomorrow, you want to be with us tomorrow, so put the day aside. It's going to be worth it for you. We're bringing the candidates to the port and to the Delta. We're going to start there. You see, when we got the governor candidates' eyes on what was happening in Shasta County with the election transparency, which is the epicenter of election transparency, I must say, we got their eyes on it. And they began to see what was possible. Then we met with the Farm Bureau, and they began to see what the real issues were and what they could do to bring a real solution. So we knew that the Delta and the port were keys to taking the state back. So that's tomorrow morning. And that will be for teams as well that are with the governor and state candidates in our MAHA teams. We'll be meeting here at 8:30 in the morning. So the bus is heading over at 8:30 in the morning. Now they'll be back here around noon. We'll break bread together. And then the next leg of the race is we're going to have Clint Curtis with us. How many of you have heard of Clint Curtis? Clint Curtis, I was going to say Mesa County Clerk, Tina Peters. We've all spent a lot of time together. Love her. She's amazing. Be praying for her, by the way. Clint Curtis is the Register of Voters Clerk in Shasta County. You see, Clint created something that was really quite simple. And the guy's a coder. He's an attorney. Clint was hired by the Bush administration to write the code to flip the vote in the machines. Think about that for a second, early 2000s. He became the whistleblower to Congress. crickets. He's now the Shasta County Registrar of Voters clerk. The system that has been created is an additional election security feature. We've rolled this out. Mike Lindell has seen it. Peter Tickton, election teams across the entire nation have seen this. You're going to see it with your own eyes today. And you're going to get the governor and state candidates' take on this. And that's key. We'll go from that event, that panel, into the next leg of the race with the governor candidate debate. You guys ready for that?
Yep.
Yes? Okay. We'll go from that into a meeting with the governor and state candidates, local officials, and also those that have come in from across the state, and we're going to do some strategizing and planning, and this is going to be key. But there's a lot of questions that the governor candidates may have, and some of you may have, and I want you to be able to bring that to the table, because your vote and your voice deserve to be heard. Now, I have a thank you. Number one, thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for standing in the gap. Thank you for being committed to taking California back. We're just beginning, and I know some of us have been in the fight for a very long time, but we will finish strong. Now, I really want to bring these guys on right now, but we got a thank you, and the thank you is for you guys. The thank you is for our live streamers, and I got to tell you, do you know, we've got to learn how to pivot through life. Would you guys agree? I got a flat tire on the way here, driving up from San Diego. I had to pivot through that, Our AD team in the back, thank you, Kit and team. So our AD team broke down by the grapevine. They had to have a mechanic come out. Dr. Kurt Collins was in an accident this morning. Thank God he is safe. The reality is, we're going on 2-3 hours sleep for the team. But you know what I'm reminded by? God says, my strength is made perfect in weakness. So today, this is about doing the work He's called us to do. You deserve that. I love you guys. We're about to get started. Sponsors, thank you. Okay, guys, we could not have done this event without the support of our sponsors. One of the sponsors I want to acknowledge is Jennifer Hawks. Who knows Jennifer Hawks? Running for treasurer. Jennifer Hawks is one of the sponsors to our event. We want to say, Jennifer, thank you for locking arms with us. Thank you for partnering with us. So grateful, running for treasurer. Also, Daniel Mercury. How many of you know Daniel Mercury? Running for governor of the great state of California. Daniel also locked arms with us. We're so grateful. Biblical voters, they are not here today, but they are with us. Your values matter. Biblical voter. Go to that QR code, click on, guys. Get everything that you need there to make sure that you're shored up to vote, and you can vote your values. All right, who else do I have on my list? We've got Chris Bish. Oh my gosh, I've had so much fun getting to know Chris Bish. Who knows Chris Bish? Do you guys know Chris Bish? Oh, Michael Wayman shouldn't be up yet. I'm pulling him up. We want Chris Bishop. Chris Bishop. I love you, Michael. Hang on. Michael, you look great right there. Where's Michael? Michael, you look great. Chris Bish. Let's pull up Chris Bish. So Chris Bish is running for Congress. Chris is amazing. She is a warrior. And we've had quite a few powerful conversations. All right, and then we have Dr. Sarah Lou is our next one. There's Chris Bish. Here she is. Thank you, tech team, for fixing that. This is Chris. This is her QR code. Click on. Let's pull up Dr. Sarah Lou next. Let's pull up Dr. Sarah Lou. She was just up a second ago. We want to say a big acknowledgement to Dr. Sarah Lou. She is amazing. She's also running for Senate. So these are people who said, you know what, we want to support you. We see what you're doing. There's a reason why you're calling this from ballot, from the ballot box to the bread basket. It is all connected. Now, our other sponsors I'd like to say a big thank you to is, let's bring Mike Wayman up again. You guys saw that bus out front? Was that amazing? You've got Trump on there, Martin Luther King on there, JFK on there. You've got, oh my gosh, you've got our... And a thank you is key. And to all of our teams here that set this up in San Joaquin, that I hear maybe cherry picking. Oh, Jay Cadillac. Love Jay Cadillac. Come on, there you are. Back of the house. Wave to everybody, Jay Cadillac. Love it. So good. So good. Okay. So we got to thank all of our sponsors. And if I've overlooked anybody, you come and talk to me and I will give you a special acknowledgement. For all of our candidates in the house, thank you for being with us. Now, enough of me. Let's bring them on. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Before I bring them on, I want to share a video with you. This is the intro video to take our California back to a better future. It's time.
Something doesn't feel right. Across California, people are starting to question the systems meant to serve them. Our elections, our food supply, our health, our communities. It's all connected. And now, people are coming together to understand it. Leaders are stepping forward. Conversations are happening. People are listening, thinking, engaging again. Because the future of California isn't decided for the people. It's decided by them. It's time to take our California back to a better future, uniting to champion election transparency, giving power back to the people. From ballot box to bread basket, trusted elections keep America fed. It is all connected.
Your 2026 team of warriors that take our California back. We've got our governor and state candidates. We've got our Maha Leaders team and I take our California back team. Guys, are these amazing? Look at these warriors. Come on. They have traveled the country. Guys, listen, they don't just stay in California. There's many trips to DC. There's trips all over the place. These warriors have been in the fight. And it took something to get here today, didn't it? It certainly did. So I just want to acknowledge every single one of you. So let's start first. I'm going to start naming them off. Let's start right here. We've got Jennifer Gallardi, our Maha leader, team leader. Come on, Jennifer. We've got Elaine Culati running for governor. We've got Scott Shields running for governor as well. We've got Whistleblower and Riverside and Shasta, that's you, Shasta County ROV, Clint Curtis. So we've got David Kallenberg running for Lieutenant Governor. Everybody say hello, David. So good. Chris Bish for Congress. We've got Jennifer Hobbs, Treasurer. Louis Herms, Governor. Daniel Mercury, Governor. Dr. Kirk Collins, Maha team. Greta Solorzano, Governor. Ronald F. Owens, Whistleblower, Public Health, Maha team. And the Johnny Appleseed of Elections, Dr. Douglas G. Frank. So good. All right, candidates, it's time. We're going to lock and load. We're going to get you started. I'm going to have Clint Curtis step forward. Governor and state candidates, Maha team, let's have you take your seats. All right, Clint, while they're taking their seats, I just wanted to get a second to say hello. So we're talking from bread basket to ballot box. It's all connected. Do you have something to say about that?
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, thrilled to be here. This is the base of what's going to happen. So if we can pull it off here, we can pull it off across the country. If we can get San Joaquin to mirror what we did in Shasta, we can spread this across California and maybe turn California red. Wouldn't that be something? You can actually count them and be surprised what it looked like, right?
So Clint, I gotta ask you a question. I think people were a little shocked. And even some of these guys, some of them knew who you were, but others were like, are you telling me the Bush administration hired you to flip the vote in the machine? You wrote the code. Is this true?
That is true. I wrote the code, but you know, you can't always hold on to that atomic bomb you make, so I think they lost control of it pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, they certainly did. I mean, you were the whistleblower to Congress, yes?
Correct.
Okay, and the results?
The results are 5149, so we're talking about?
That says it all! There you go! Yeah, crickets. Well, and we're hoping that changes. We're here to make that change. So Clint, tomorrow's a big day, and this is why I really wanted to see this right now. You guys being at the additional election security demonstration is going to be so important in taking the state back. So Clint, any words that you want to share with them as to the importance of getting their eyes on the additional election security demonstration?
Your vote is the most important thing you have. Without it, you get what you got right now, right? So, because you haven't had the vote probably in 20 years. So, come tomorrow, watch it, spread it. It's cheap. I mean, really cheap for anyone to roll out. It doesn't take anything. They don't even have to give up their machines. We just neuter the machines so they can't cheat us. And so that makes all the difference. So come by tomorrow, we'll show it how it works.
Well, we're excited to see you, Clint, so you get to get front row seat right now. Hand for Clint Curtis. Thank you, Clint. You're amazing. All right, I'm going to pop this down over here. All right, so we are going to get started, and this is what it's going to look like, okay? I'm going to pull the mic over here. I'm going to kind of be your mic runners today, to make sure everything goes good. Hang on. Okay, so Jennifer. Yeah, let's go to you first, Miss Jennifer. So this is what these rounds are going to look like. We have 6 key questions. It's going to go really fast. Now, is there a possibility we can do some freestyle? I've heard from a couple of the candidates that, hey, I want more time to speak. Totally get it. There is that possibility. But what we're going to do is we're going to run a section of this like a ship, okay? So be with us, be present with us today, and be listening for, is this candidate speaking the truth? And I believe these candidates are speaking the truth, but I want you to be listening for, do they have a solution for the real problems in this state, all right? So Kim, on the back end, the clock, y'all see that clock in the back end? This is going to be your time clock. With the 6 questions, that first question, we're gonna give you 2 minutes. It'll be your opportunity to kind of, introduce yourself, who you are, why you're doing what you're doing, all right? And then we're gonna move into the 1-minute rounds. Now, Jennifer is here all the way from the East Coast. She has put everything aside on her schedule to make this a priority. That's a pretty big deal. Jen's from the Heritage Foundation. I'm gonna pass it over to Jen. That way, Jen, you can share a little bit about you, and then I'm gonna have you pass it over to your team, Dr. Kurt Collins and Ron Owens. And I gotta tell you, I just gotta acknowledge you for a second, because I don't think we'd be doing this MAHA Leaders Panel, Dr. Kurt, unless it was up to you. You were the one in Kern when we took the governor candidates there who said, hey, we need to do something like this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's brilliant. All right, so I'm so excited. I got to meet you from a warrior in this house. So come on.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Gallardi. I'm a senior policy analyst for the Heritage Foundation, our Restoring American Wellness Initiative. I lead kind of our MAHA efforts in DC from the policy standpoint. I came to California in 1998. I left a very somewhat conservative upbringing, and as giving the middle finger to my parents, I moved to California. I became pretty progressive out here, and through that path I found a career in fitness and nutrition, and really loved everything that California had to offer about healthy lifestyle and healthy living. And I never went to the doctor, and I felt great, and I had all these amazing opportunities to learn as well as experience kind of the agricultural abundance of this state and what an important part that was to the state. And you hear that kind of loud and clear in the Maha movement, the food is medicine refrain. So I was a little surprised when COVID hit, and all of my friends that I was in this movement with, were kind of, I don't want to say slamming me for not getting the vaccine. And we were the ones that were always promoting alternative medicine and staying healthy, and then they went nuts, essentially, like much of the country did. So I kind of had my eyes open then. I went back to get my master's in public policy, which was my undergrad degree, and thought, maybe I can serve in a different way. I did leave California because it's a little hard to do conservative politics in this state as a policy person. So now I'm in Virginia, where they're determined to make it California 2.0. I don't know if you saw what happened this week. But what's interesting about California, it's one of my favorite conservatives here, Kevin Faulconer, the ex-mayor of San Diego, is one of my professors. Conservatism is a very different type of conservatism than it is here, than it is in DC. And I keep trying to tell my DC friends that, I guess that I'm being cut off.
Oh, well, hang on a second. And that was great, because we just practiced what the bell sounds like.
Now you all know what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. Now we're gonna let her finish. We're gonna actually, we won't start the rounds, guys. We won't start these rounds until the governor candidates go. But that is exactly what it sounds like. You guys
what it's like to get the Oscar music starts playing.
Yeah, we're back on. You're right.
Anyway,
and actually, hang on a second. Evie, why don't you come on up real quick? I think Evie got stuck in the restroom.
No.
Let's talk to you in the restroom. All right, let's bring her back over here. Evie Lynch. Come on. Jen, back to you.
All that to say is that it's not the same as kind of your Georgetown political circle conservatives. California is, for me, had the best of both worlds. You can be, thank you, Elaine. To me, kind of farmers are the OG hippies, right? They work with the land, and they're mostly conservative because they're working in God's law, in God's order. So my politics changed, and I do try to communicate, like, this is kind of the epicenter of the Maha movement. This is where the Maha moms started, whether it was the medical freedom issues or the food is medicine. And what's weird is that used to be kind of a left thing. And we're seeing a lot of bipartisan in the Maha movement, which is why I love it, because it's kind of the best of both worlds for me. It gives me the best of my California friends and the best of my kind of DC friends all come together. I'll just give you a really quick example. We held a public event last August on regenerative agriculture. And the looks on people's faces when they're like, what am I doing at Heritage? Like, they never thought they would be at the Heritage Foundation. Farmers, guys with cowboy hats, boots, and we loved it. I think it was one of our most successful events. All that to say is, like, this really is a bipartisan issue. I wish we had more Democrat candidates participating right now, because for me, it doesn't really matter. Health is for everybody. It's especially the health of our children. Like Kennedy says, there's no Democrat or Republican children. So I think this Maha agenda offers a unique opportunity for no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on to kind of come up with solutions for our children.
Well said, Jennifer, thank you. Jennifer, who do we get to talk to next?
Oh,
yes, hang on. I'm bringing you on.
Passing the mic.
Dr. Kirk Collins, Bakersfield, California. So I'm a chiropractor, and I really, like Kim said, kind of lived a great life. I grew up in 3 of the best decades, born in the 70s, got to enjoy the 80s and then the 90s, and really took for granted the freedoms and the benefit and full rights football scholarship to play down at San Diego State. And then I had a health trauma, and then I went to the conventional medical doctors, and they had no answers. And luckily I started looking and searching into alternative medicine, found chiropractic care, and found out it wasn't really healthy to run headfirst into other 250-pound large gentlemen over and over again for 8 years. And got my neck back in alignment, started cleaning up my diet, and really just turned my health around and found a level of health that I don't think most Americans know even exists. And so just kind of been on the sidelines, running my business, raised my families, complaining about the election integrity issues, complaining about the forced vaccination mandates. And then I met Kim, and a few weeks ago, a month ago maybe, and I don't think God always has road to Damascus issues. I think sometimes it's just a conversation, it's just an ask. And when she said she'd give a platform to talk about things that were important to me, and I know they're important to the patients and the farmers and the ranchers and the guys working out in the oil fields that I work with every single day, these are not partisan issues. I mean, I have my own belief systems and things, but these are our health, our kids' security, our ability to choose sovereignty over our own body. When did we just give that up? When did we just say the state has a right over our body? And it's really been going on for a long time. Since really 9/11, they've been attacking our personal medical freedoms, and it's time we stand up and take it back. And I just like to thank Kim for putting this on, her team for putting a magnificent deal, and really the candidates here for coming and just having a conversation, right?
Yes,
Forget about debating and all that. Let's just have a conversation and talk some real common sense about what can we do to implement what Bobby Kennedy has risked his life. I don't know if you guys know, but he's probably the most endangered man in the United States right now. More people want to kill him for just simply standing up for our rights to be healthy and know what's in our food, know what's in these so-called vaccinations that they're putting into our kids. That's all he's promoting, is just transparency and consent. Consent is the hallmark of our medical system. As a doctor, it's our duty to inform our patients of, here's this option, and this option. Here's what I believe, but here's the pros and cons. You decide. And that's all what we're really trying to do with the MAHA movement. It's not a red issue. It's not a blue issue. It's a you issue. It's our kids. It's our health. We have the worst health almost of any industrialized country, and we have #1 spending. If we don't change this, we will bankrupt our country. It's not the wars. It's not printing money. It's the money we're spending on healthcare. That's not healthcare. It's sick care that we got to change.
So good. Kurt, would you pass that to Ronald? Thank you. So good, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor. Just over 4 years ago, then Department of Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra, he was on a Convening on Equity Summit, White House virtual summit, and he casually said, quote, "We know these vaccines, talking about the COVID-19 vaccines, are killing people of color, blacks, Latinos, indigenous people, at about 2 times the rate of white Americans." I was a public information officer at the California Department of Public Health during this time. I brought this information to my management. First time was in April of 2022, and I was politely dismissed. Second time, I raised the issue in October of 2022. They threatened to discipline me. Here are the optics. Liberal California. I'm this black guy. 2 white superiors, liberals. And I'm telling them, these vaccines are killing people of color, and you threatened to discipline me. Several months later, in August of 2023, they wrote me up because basically the information that I had was contrary to what you and 40 million other Californians were being told, that these vaccines are safe and effective. It's a lie. It was a lie. I worked in the propaganda shop at CDPH, and they lied to you. These vaccines are not safe, and they are not effective. Long story short, I knew that you needed to know this information, so I prematurely retired, immediately incurred a 55% pay cut, which was the difference between my salary and my pension. It's not about money, it's about doing the right thing. So I wrote a book called Muzzle Truth. It's available on my website in paperback, ebook, and audiobook, read by yours truly. Started speaking before small groups. I met this gentleman in April of 2024 when I had a sit-down conversation with then Sacramento County Board of Supervisor Sue Frost. She's probably the first American politician who took a stand from the get-go and said these vaccines are not safe and are not effective. She committed political suicide, but she did the right thing. Okay, since then, I appeared before my county board of supervisors in Sacramento, informed them on several occasions, because you only get 2 minutes to speak. So each time I went back to speak, the first time was on May 21st, 2024, and subsequent times as well, I started to prepare a document to inform my board of supervisors because I wanted to put it in writing. Then I had a grand idea. It was God. Basically, I'm thinking I should probably send a written notification to the 57 other county board of supervisors across
How
California.
many?
So,
How many did you send that to?
well, it's 296 separate emails.
Okay.
So I had to go to each county website. Took about a whole week for me to do that. Copy all the board of supervisors' email addresses, create 57 additional documents, and each time I made a mistake in one document, I had to correct and make, correct 57 other corrections, and I had to do this 3 or 4 times. Okay, sent that out. Thinking, you know what? I provided written notification. I think I should go to each board supervisor and follow up in person. Hear that motorcycle in the background? Sounds like a Harley Davidson. I have a Can-Am Spyder, which sounds more like a sewing machine, but I'm digressing. So I hopped on my Can-Am Spyder after Sacramento County. My first county that I came to was San Joaquin County, and I appeared there on August 13th. Since then, I've appeared before 51 other county board supervisors. Wow. I was in, what was I last week?
It was in Inland Empire?
Last week.
Yes.
Yes. And so when I complete what I'm doing, I'll probably be the only Californian to go to and speak before every board of supervisor in the state. And the reason why I'm doing this is because my oath as a public information officer, as a state civil service employee, did not expire when I retired. So I'm doing what CDPH should have done more than 4 years ago and still could now do today. So I have a love for humanity. I love the Lord. I love humanity. God's called me on this path. And so basically that's my story.
So good, so good. Ron, you can hold that mic. Hold that mic right now. So good. These are the powerhouses, and they've worked behind the scenes. I've had the privilege of being in meetings with these guys, strategizing how today would go. So, Jen, I think it's time that we bring up the first question. And just to refresh you, candidates, this one you have full 2 minutes. Don't worry, we're going to give you some time at the end, okay, to really just kind of unleash. But this is the beginning of the unleashing for you guys. So 2 minutes. Let's sound that bell one more time, Kip. Pretty easy, right? Right? Okay, so Greta Solorzano, we're gonna start with you. And Jennifer, it's yours.
Jennifer's gonna ask the question.
Yes. Am I coming up or do I stay right there? That's what I thought. Okay. Hello. Thank you all for being here. I'm excited to hear all your answers. Whether people believed it at the time or not, some did, many didn't. California's COVID-era public health policies have since proven to be among the most overreaching, the most misguided in the nation. School closures, mandates, one-size-fits-all restrictions caused real lasting harm, deteriorating the social fabric, and as a result, a fundamental shattering of public trust in public health institutions and government leadership. Given that record, given what you have to clean up, why should Californians trust you to get it right next time? And what will you do differently to restore credibility in a massive, diverse state where people expect both competence and restraint in health decisions?
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I'm going to try to go a little bit fast, so I better stand up. As an individual that has, as a scientist that has 30 years of experience in the nuclear industry, in the energy business, and the water infrastructure, I believe that I have the credentials to actually understand what is the impact that the environment is creating and the policies that are overreaching. One of the things that we did is we put a desalination plant in Catalina Island, and it took 5 years at that point to actually go through the entire process of getting the permits. One of the things that I will do is definitely look at each and every one of the policies, have some real scientific data to back up that, and I will apply that to all the commissions and organizations within California. We are getting to the point where it's impossible to actually get a permit, where it is impossible to actually get an environmental permit. And we need to work on that to actually make sure that that we actually attract the business and keep the business coming. Let me give you an example in the water industry.
Well, the one thing I think people want to know though is we're talking about like pandemic responses and state pandemic responses, and how do we make sure that what happened in the past is not repeated?
I think we need to work with the federal government to make sure that we do have policies in place, especially now that we know when we have this kind of events at the global level, we're going to have to actually work on developing some policies to make sure that there is no overreach. And I think that's about all I have for that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think I need to check my mic here real quick because I can't talk to you guys. I want to be able to talk to you.
We can hear you.
Can you guys hear me okay? That's good, judging? Okay, fantastic. Right up, thank you.
That's awesome. And let's make sure we hit that bell at that 2-minute mark. That would be awesome when that 2-minute mark comes up. You did a great job.
She
Excellent.
finished early, so
She finished early.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Eli Culati,
Yeah, baby.
you're up.
You're up.
Oh, give me a microphone.
Hi, I'm Elaine Collier. I'm running for governor of California. The first thing we have to do is we have to fire the head of HHS that actually Bobby Kennedy already fired once, and Gavin Newsom decided that he would hire her back. She was fired for lying in front of Congress. She is our current head of HHS. She's the full lockdown queen. Number 2, we will disconnect from the World Health Organization. Okay. So Bobby Kennedy and the Trump administration during the Davos meeting this year, they disconnected from the World Health Organization. And while talking about knee pads, Gavin Newsom re-signed us up. So we are out, over and out, if I am the governor. Number 2. Number 3, and I think the most important thing of all, we have a lot of public policy and young ladies that we all know that work through Heritage that are trying to create some sort of informed consent. Informed consent it's our right. It's not a law that we need to pass. It's our right. Religious exemptions, that's our right. Medical exemptions, our doctors and our conversations between our doctors are between us and our doctor. If I am the governor, I will tell you right now, we are not mandating anything. Is that Sean Collinson? Hi, Sean. The most important thing about informed consent in California is you have to get it through legislation, even though it's your right. These girls have been working really hard, Darlene and Jessica, right? And I've been their policy advocates, and if I am governor, they will not have to go through staff to have politicians see it. Staff is a quagmire up in Sacramento. Right. For any of you who wind up getting into office, get rid of your staff. Yeah. Your staff has been there forever. They are unelected. They are appointed into those positions or hired into those positions.
Great chance! More time! Excellent job. So good, Elaine.
All right, so did I just hear that Sean Collinson is in the house?
Sean's here.
Sean, where you been? We've been waiting for you. All right, let's do this. Minnie, can we get one more chair up here for Sean Collinson? He's supposed to be here. Sean, you okay? What happened to you? Oh, I got it. You were negotiating. You were mothering. Come on up. Guys, this is Sean Collinson, running for Lieutenant Governor. If we can get one more chair in the house, what I'm going to do is, awesome, Minnie, let's see if we can, I'm going to have the candidates get a little uncomfortable, and we're just going to scoop down just a little bit this way if we can. And then we're going to scoop you right inside. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, fantastic. Well, we're glad you're here. All right, fantastic. Good. All right, guys. So Sean Collins, we'll give him a proper introduction, is running for Lieutenant Governor of the state. So, Sean, welcome to the forum. We're excited to have you here at Take Our California Back to a Better Future. So good. Now, Greta, thank you. Excellent job. And we're going to move on over. Greta, were you going to say something? Okay. We're going to move on over right now to, would you re-present us to the question?
Yeah.
And then we'll go to Daniel Mercury.
I'll keep it brief. California had the most dreadful lockdown policy during COVID. That's not an opinion. That is statistically, with data proven, with school outcomes, with depression, alcoholism, the economy. So the question is, why should Californians trust you to get it right next time? And what will you do differently to restore credibility in a massive, diverse state where people expect both competence and restraint in health decisions?
Well, I think a lot of the things that a lot of people unfortunately aren't doing first is to first understand how do we get here in the first place, and that is, you might want to start the timer, just to be fair to everybody.
All right, guys, start that timer back in house.
He's an honest politician.
Yeah, so there you go, I just proved myself. So one of the things too is that when you look at American jurisprudence, when you look at corpus juris secundum, when you look at multiple volumes, I looked at book 16, A, and you look at section 98, it says that no emergency has just cause to suppress the Constitution or the state constitution. Well, what was COVID-19? An emergency. What did the government do? They shut you down. So in other words, it's already been ruled that the government can't do that. Why'd they do that? Because they know that you don't know any better, so they play on your ignorance. Okay, that's one of the biggest things that they did. One of the other things too here in the state of California is we have what's called the California Emergency Services Act. That provides broad consolidated power that they solidify into the governorship. Well, again, if you look at the state constitution, it says vested. The word vested means solely and wholeheartedly into that one position of judicial, executive, and legislative. So again, they stepped over and they violated their oath. So how did we get here? They placated into your ignorance. And one of the other things is a lot of people don't realize is that our California Medical Board also has their own law enforcement police agency that is outside of our local law, LEOs, and our county sheriffs. Well, that's illegal. So what are we missing here? How is it that they have those agencies, then they go around and they tell everybody to shut down because of a health emergency under general welfare? Well, if I go back to Adams and Hamilton, I'm sorry, but they didn't debate on your health. They debated on taxation and congressional spending. Had nothing to do with your health. So when you look at the Constitution, it defines the limitation of powers. You put me in office, that is exactly what it is. It means that the Constitution doesn't allow for government to control the behavior of the people. So under my administration, one of the first things we're going to do is we're going to fire every single medical health board member. And we're going to not only just fire them, they're going to be investigated for coercion, malpractice, medical propaganda, and child abuse, because you do not have a right to mask us up, stand 10 feet apart, and then tell everybody under your fake efficacy that, we need to take a shot, and then we are going to lose our job. What did they do? They closed the market on you. That will not happen under my administration.
Thank you, Daniel Mercury. Thank you. And you can pass it over to Lewis. Stand by, Lewis. So when you guys come up stage, state your name again and what you're running for our audience. Scott Shields.
Hi, my name is Scott Shields. I am the only Democrat here, I'm assuming. Is that correct?
Wrong color shirt.
I've had the pleasure of meeting most everybody here, and I am, they say the word bipartisan, but I had the privilege of meeting Robert Kennedy Jr. and having a 2-hour private dinner with him in Palo Alto. And we didn't agree on everything, but I do agree with him on vaccines. That was one reason I was there. The other reason, when I left that meeting with him, I realized one thing. Well, actually 2 things. This man is brilliant. And when somebody's brilliant, you want to listen to him. He also has a huge heart. And when someone has a huge heart, you should listen to them. So, as I started to go out there as a candidate, I realized that a lot of liberals, let's say liberals, there's many liberals that are like me that aren't atheist, Marxist, leftist. I have a book out on Amazon. It was #1 last week at Amazon in mathematics, for any of you people in science or theology. I am running as a Blue Dog traditional Democrat, a Bobby Kennedy Democrat, and a America First Democrat. I do not want any independent votes that are here for my friends that are independent. I do not want any Republican votes to my friends that are Republican. In fact, I'm really close with David Collenberg, who should be definitely involved at the agricultural area in California.
Yeah.
So what's important about me, I think, is as a Democrat, you really got to learn what's happened to the liberals. They've been run over by the atheist Marxist mafia. It's that simple. They're riding bikes with them, and they don't want to. They're looking for a leader. If you're a liberal, or you're a Republican, or an independent, and you have friends that are Democrat, you introduce them to Scott Shields' website. I'll pick up the phone with anybody. I'll fly anywhere to meet anybody, and I'll email anybody. I work my own campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. That's awesome. Okay, well, you can actually give that to David. And I just want to touch on something that, thank you. I want to touch on something, Scott, that you brought up that is really important. There is one Democrat in the House today that is on the stage. We've got Republicans, we've got NPPs, and one Democrat. Every Democrat was invited that you saw on that flyer went out. They were personally invited multiple times. So I just want to acknowledge you for being here. And I want to acknowledge every single one of you for being here.
Hello, Louis Harms, running for governor. I think first and foremost, you have to understand your enemy if you're going to defeat the enemy. And this was an enemy that went after us with COVID. We can't play games with it. This was a pandemic for sure. I can tell you that in 2020, I did a 9-minute film called The Big COVID Lie. Almost destroyed my life. 9 minutes, because we were on top of it, because I figured out that in 2009, the 3 top dictionaries all had the word pandemic, which show you that it's virtually people dying in the streets. By the way, all those dictionaries were changed in 2009 and says, just defer to your 3-letter agency and they'll let you know what a pandemic is. You can read it up today. This was planned. We have to understand this. We also have to understand that a mandate is not law. A mandate was enforced not by the government, but by the corpocracies, the corporations that took that dog whistle in and said, we will enforce it for you, Mr. Newsom. Think about that. We have to be educated. And you need somebody in there that understands the issue, number one, and then somebody like myself that's willing to absolutely clean house from A to Z. We cannot use any of the established people that were in there that were part of the problem in the first place. And I can tell you there's so much talent and so much intelligence that can bring us into a new era that we will restaff like that. Understand that as soon as Bobby Kennedy started doing good things with the CDC, Gavin Newsom helped form the West Coast Healthcare Alliance. Think about that, because it was a slap in the face to Secretary Kennedy doing it right. So we will absolutely clean house, and that is the most important thing.
Thank you, Louis. Next up, David Collenberg, Lieutenant Governor.
Well, first thing, as I'm getting up to work, I gotta roll up the sleeves.
Get that mic nice and close.
Hold the mic close to your mouth. Right there, buddy.
Sleeves are coming up.
Right there,
They're
right.
coming up.
Yeah, ready to work. So, I'm Siskiyou County farmer, David Collenberg, your next Lieutenant Governor. The pandemic was crazy. I'm not vaccinated, thank God. But, you know, people driving around with masks in their cars, going to the beach by themselves, have a mask, craziness. And closing all our businesses down. I met a guy yesterday at an event that owned a barber shop, and he fought Gavin Newsom, lost his barber's license because he stayed open. And that was BS. Uh-oh. Did I scrub the one in front of you? Okay. Am I back? Yes, sir. Back. Nope, this one's gone too. That's where
Testing.
Sorry. So, you know, if I'm Lieutenant Governor, I don't have a lot of say in firing all these people and whatever, but I'll sure influence it. I'll sure be knocking on the governor's door to get rid of all these people that are doing all the BS to us. So we're not going to be riding around with masks in our car alone or going to the beach with a mask on when there's nobody for 1,000 feet. It's insane. So the crazy Democratic policies, we're done with it. So thank you guys.
Thank you. You can pass that to Christine beside you. Thank you, David. All right, Sean Collinson.
How's everybody
Oh,
doing?
Sean, tell us who you're running for.
I'm Sean Collinson. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. I'm a no party preference candidate. How y'all doing today? Well, thanks for being here. Thank you for having me. A lot of my friends on the stage. So I'm a mediator, and I'm also an FBI trained hostage negotiator. So you're a mediator to Sacramento. Now, one thing about Robert F. Kennedy Jr., I worked with him for 2 years on the Children's Defense Fund. So everything these great folks up here are talking about, I know a lot about. The pushing and the pandering of the vaccine was just wrong. Everyone up here that's saying, fire everyone, I'm a joinder. I agree with that. Parents should have control of how they're vaccinating their kids. They shouldn't be doing it. We should not be doing that. The MAHA movement is great. We need to spread more education. Like my friend Lewis said, it's all about education. I find that they push it in the neighborhoods that don't even have the education. As a mediator, going to Sacramento as your next lieutenant governor, my role is to get the red and the blue in some room, negotiate between the two of them, pull the ideas, the concepts, find common ground, and do what works for the people you elect to send to Sacramento. We have to do that. It's time to stop playing politics as usual. No more of this blame game, pointing the finger. We can't find the money on your tax dollars. It is very important. Sending a mediator to Sacramento this November is crucial. You have one opportunity to get someone that goes in to cut a deal that you can live with. We carry California on our backs. We're being scammed, we're being played, and our money's going out the window, and then the blame game happens. So we have a choice.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, thank you. You can pass that mic back over. Good, good, good. All right, so let's go over to Chris. Do you need to be represents to that question at all? Are you ready to go?
Chris Fish.
Chris Fish.
Oh,
Chris
I'm
Fish
ready.
for Congress. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. My name is Christine Bish, and I'm a candidate for Congress in California's 3rd Congressional District. Now, we're hearing from a lot of great people here today talking about what they're going to do when elected over MAHA and the unconstitutional lockdown. Well, I can tell you, as the only person in this room that's actually done something about it. I sued Gavin Newsom over the unconstitutional lockdown. I took him on with Harmeet Dillon as my attorney. And we were winning in the Ninth Circuit Court. And in there, what happened was, I was applying for a permit. I just wanted to have a rally. I was running for Congress and couldn't go knocking on doors. I couldn't have rallies. I couldn't have events. So they were interfering with a federal election. So I decided, after a March 1st event out at the Capitol, that I was going to have my own. So I applied for a permit, and I was turned down because I refused to comply with the restrictions that were put on me. That if I were to have a rally, that everyone would distance 6 feet apart, that everyone would wear a mask. Children from different families would not be allowed to play together. Now, I'm an investigator. I spent 10 years in a law firm, and I would never agree to that contract. So my response was to sue Gavin Newsom, sue the Secretary of State, and the Department of Health for the state of California. And I can tell you right now how that case ended up. We were winning in the Ninth Circuit, and Gavin Newsom released us. And that's because his only chance to take me on was to go before the Supreme Court. You're welcome. And that is the fight that you're going to get from me, whether it's in California or Washington, D.C. I do not take no for an answer.
Thank you.
It just means try harder.
Thank you, Chris Fish, for Congress. Thank you, thank you. All right, next up we've got E.B. Lynch, running for Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you. Well, hello, California. My name is E.B. Lynch, and I'm running to be your California Lieutenant Governor. I'm going to take time, as I always try to do, and give my papa some time. So, if it's okay, I'm going to pray. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to speak your word, Lord. Everywhere I go, it's not me that I want to be seen, it's your Holy Spirit. So please, Holy Spirit, take over right now and say what needs to be said. So, I think it's atrocious that in a nation where we have a constitution that says one nation, a constitution that is about God, one nation, about God first, that even when we want to go to God, he never forces us. But we had a government that said, you will take a jab. I've been in the medical field for years. And one of the things that I learned in nursing school was that we don't force immunizations. Why? Because we never know how it's going to happen, what's going to happen once a person takes any type of drug. Once you put something into your body, you don't control what happens. So when I found out that our country was being locked down, that you couldn't even go to work unless you took a jab, I was appalled. I was a union steward working for California State Prison, Sacramento, a level 4 male's prison. And they told me that if I didn't take the jab, that yes, I would not be able to work, that they would fire me. At the time, I said, okay, I don't want to work. I don't like this job anyways. God gave me this job. I'm sorry, Lord, but I'm done. But I knew that there was a bigger calling, so I stayed. I took the one and done Johnson & Johnson. To this day, I have issues. But what it did, it convinced me that we have to do something in this country to make sure that people know that their rights are their rights.
Thank you.
And I will fight for your right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. That's E.B. Lynch. And next you can hold that mic right there. Jennifer Hawks. Jennifer's running for
California State Treasurer. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Kim, thank you for including me. Well, I tell you, the COVID thing became very personal to me on many, many levels. I am a member of Calvary Christian Fellowship in Santa Clara. We are the one church that Santa Clara went after and fined over $4 million. That's tithing dollars. Those are dollars that we gave to God. They hauled him to court over and over and over and over again. They geo-tracked the members of that church and didn't tell anybody. As the California State Treasurer, Medi-Cal money does run through this office. How much? I have no idea because I'm not in there yet. But when you talked about how many employees we have, there's 400 employees in the Treasurer's office, 8 different divisions, and let me tell you, there's a lot going on in each one of those divisions because the Treasurer is basically a figurehead. She's not making the day-to-day decisions as bureaucrats or people that have been in that office for a long, long time. We're still fighting this. My church is still fighting this. And it's made its way all the way to the Supreme Court. I hope we win because Californians or any American should never be put back in the boat that we were in with this. You know something, I have friends whose children have suffered so greatly from having this vaccine. I did have to take it because I had elderly that were in nursing homes and I would not have been able to get in and see them and they were dying. So I did make the decision to get the 2 shots. Praise God, I never had any kickback from it, but I know a lot of friends who have. When I get in as California State Treasurer, one of the things I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing some forensic auditing of everything that's gone on in those divisions. You better believe it. We are going to get to the bottom of this and we are going to clean this up, and that's why I'm running. It's not about me, it is about us, and that's why my website is hawksforus.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. All right, so we just finished round 1. Did they do a phenomenal job? They certainly did. Well done, candidates. Well done. All right, so Jennifer, I think it's time for our other MAHA leaders. Who's up next?
Kurt Collins, I believe.
Yes, he's up next. Kurt, your question. Let's get you a microphone. I'm coming.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for that. So as a physician practicing in California for over 2 decades, I've seen a shift from a system once encouraged clinical judgment, innovation, one where doctors increasingly feel constrained in what they can say or recommend, even when acting in their patient's best interest. Even before COVID and now beyond it, many physicians face pressure, scrutiny, or even threats to their license, not for harming patients, but for offering alternative perspectives or treatment options outside of government-endorsed protocols. Meanwhile, states like Idaho and Florida are passing legislation that prohibit most vaccine and medical mandates across government, employers, schools, and businesses. This protects both the patients and the physicians from discrimination based on personal medical decisions. So my question for you guys is this: do you support similar legislation in California that would restore personal medical freedoms back to the parents, patients, and the doctors? And what will you do to protect physicians' right to practice based on their training, experience, and evolving science without fear of regulatory retaliation?
Very good, great question. Let's pass that mic, Jennifer, over to Chris Bish. Chris, right beside you. Chris, let's go first.
Okay. I'm going to tell you
Tell 'em
exactly about this.
who you're running for. What are you running for?
This is Christine Bish. I'm running for California's 3rd Congressional District. Now, what we're talking about is the mandates. And this is something that I did fight. And I'm going to tell you, I did get COVID, and my doctor lost his license for prescribing me ivermectin. And he took care of a lot of other people and was forced to leave the state. This was reprehensible. I was one of the lucky people that didn't have to get the vaccine, that stood up against the governor, stood up against the government, and said no.
New mic.
The mic's gone.
Mic's gone.
I don't need a mic. But just to let you know, I've stood up to this. I watched my doctor lose his license for the giving me alternative treatments. And now what we are seeing across the state and across this country is people suffering from the consequences of being forced to take the vaccine. That's one of the things that I fought for when I sued the governor, and that is one of the things that I will fight for, to change federal legislation and protect our right to choose.
Thank you, Christine. Mic on, please. Thank you, Christine Bish. And Christine, you have
Remember, these are 1 minute. These are 1 minute.
What was that?
Just reminding these guys, it's 1 minute.
It's 1 minute. Yes, thank you, Doug. So these are 1 minute rhymes. You did a great job. Hang on with that mic right there. And we're going to go now the opposite direction. So Jennifer, we're going to go to Jennifer. We're going to go from the inside out. We can get that mic back to her. Fantastic. Jen,
I can't believe you there was another Jennifer.
Each time.
Jennifer Hawks, I'm running for California State Treasurer. Wow. Can we repeat the question?
Do you support laws?
Do I support what?
Do you support legislation like in Florida?
Absolutely. I think that we should not have to have anything put into our bodies that we don't need to, and I'm going to reflect back on my little granddaughter. This is not really a COVID, but this just has to do with all of the vaccines that are out there. When she was maybe 3 months old, maybe 6 at the most, one of her vaccine sessions, she had 6 vaccines at the same time. 3 months old. I mean, I think that is just absolutely outrageous that we are doing this to our children, and we are seeing more and more of the results of pumping all this stuff into our kids. I think the time is now. As we're moving into this midterm election, we make sure our voice is very loud and very clear that we are taking our medical freedom back, and we mean business. And I am all for making sure that that works its way all the way up to the federal level, because this state has, I think, way overstepped. Thank you, Jennifer Hawks.
Fantastic, excellent. And you can give that to Evie. Stand by, Evie. We're going to come on over to David Kallenberg, and then we'll go to you, Evie.
David Kallenberg, running for Lieutenant Governor. I have 6 kids. You are not, I don't care what law, mandate you pass, you're not forcing me to do anything to my kids that I do not want to do or approve of, ever. And anyone that stands beside me, I will back them up 110%. So, not going to happen on my watch.
Fantastic, thank you. You pass that to Scott, and let's pop up Evie Lynch.
Hey, yes. So I know I only have 1 minute. So just like I said before, there should never be a time that the government is forcing us to put anything into our bodies. So yes, most definitely, not only will I support legislation, but once I'm in there, I'm going to help draft the legislation, because we were giving bodily autonomy by God, and only God can take that away. We should never have a government that says, hey, I know better than you, parent, what your child should have. We know now, because of the great work that's being done at the federal level, that a lot of those immunizations, so-called immunizations, have caused autism. And we can do better. We must do better. And that means that every single one of us has to stand up, because when I didn't stand up, I paid the price. So that we don't pay the price, our children don't pay the price, and the next generation will actually reap from us being able to do the right thing. So yes, I will support it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Evie. Evie Lynch, running for Lieutenant Governor. Scott Shields.
Scott Shields. I'm running for governor as a Democrat at shieldsforgovernor.com. I like potatoes, so I will definitely follow Idaho. Okay? Without a doubt, I'll follow Idaho. I like Idaho, by the way. The other thing, so that answers that question. I didn't answer the first question very good. I apologize for that. But I think it's very important, education. I've met some very sharp people here. Then constitutional education is a big deal. We need a California public broadcasting system. When I was in D.C., we didn't want to get rid of Voice of America. We wanted to fix it. Gary Lake and many that you probably know and are around. I started a private sector Voice of America. It's doing well overseas. We're doing very well. We need a California public broadcasting system. It's who runs things that matter, not the system. Okay, we do need government, and we do need regulation, not crazy regulation that we all know about, or mandates, but we do need education, and the media will not tell the truth. There's no media out there that will tell the truth. I can't get an interview with anybody.
Excellent, thank you, Scott. And Kurt Collins, and Dr. Kurt, would you you did great, Scott, by the way. Would you just represent us to the question? Because our audience, it's always good to ask that question again.
Yeah, no problem. So Idaho's really led the way with repealing the mandates. Florida's coming on board. We have a bunch of other states on board. So I think what Californians want to know, especially those that have dealt with vaccine-injured kids, like many of us or know it, do you support our individual rights, and what specifically are you going to do when you get in office to make that happen? And it's a tall battle. We know it's a huge battle to overcome what's been put in place.
Fantastic. All right. So we have Scott. Sean Collinson, you're up.
Sean Collinson, running for Lieutenant Governor. Look, my friend Gary, senior citizen. Gary was working out in the gym every single day. Gary was 68. He then went and took the vaccine. We didn't see Gary for a while. Gary got sick. 3 months later, he passed away. No one should be forced to put anything in their bodies that they don't want in their bodies. So medical freedom, I support legislation for that. I support everyone on this stage. I will stand with you. You can contact me if you need someone to stand with you. We have to take action. Education is a part of this. This is a profit-seeking thing they're doing to us, and it's not fair at all. We have to be educated. We have to be smart. We have to educate our family, our friends. No one should be mandated to put anything in their bodies that they don't want.
Thank you, Sean. Running for Lieutenant Governor. And up next, let's pass that mic, Scott, Elaine Kulati.
I hope this thing has a lot of juice. Hi. No, I needed longer than a minute. California is built on unfunded mandates. For any of you guys who don't understand what that is paying back donors. Unfunded mandates, SB 79. Unfunded mandates, Prop 50. Unfunded mandates, sanctuary cities. Unfunded mandates, vaccines. Unfunded mandates, most importantly, all of the stuff that happens in education that you do not want your kids to do, like little boys in little girls' locker rooms. These are unfunded mandates. You should know that there is a 15-year wait and $2 billion of unfunded mandates not paid back to cities by Sacramento. And there is no world that these guys are going to get the money. And it is dividing small cities from the constituents that vote them into office. After filming Mayors Matter and talking to these mayors, I can tell you unfunded mandates stop. We do not have unfunded mandates. You cannot mandate something you cannot pay for. That is illegal.
Thank you, Elaine.
We cannot do it any longer.
Thank you. Very good, Elaine. That's a backpack. All right, Louis Herms, running for governor.
Louis Herms, run for governor, that's right. Real quick, so my mom has had a lifetime cardiologist problem, and her cardiologist actually told her the one good thing is you will never, ever, ever, ever have blood clots. Your blood is the cleanest blood I've ever seen. She took the vaccine, died shortly after of blood clots, massive blood clots. This is near and dear to my heart, but here's the reality, right? Of course, no mandates, right? But we must absolutely hold the pharmaceuticals accountable and get rid of their lack of liability. They need to be liable for anything that they do, right? Absolutely. But there must be informed consent, but we can take it to a whole nother level. So I would support even more legislation that even Florida or Idaho or Texas, and it's mandatory signed informed consent, where your patient has to sign that you said A, B, and C on a piece of paper, acknowledging they completely understand what they're getting into, including the side effects.
Thank you, Louis Herms, for governor. And we've got Daniel Mercury for governor.
Daniel Mercury for governor. One of the frustrating things that I keep hearing is that, we got to create more legislation, we got to create more laws, we have to negotiate with the people that are in office right now. Why? If we want to negotiate with the people and the swine that are in office, you're trying to appeal to a better side that doesn't exist. If it did, we wouldn't be in this mess in the first place. So one of the things that we already look at is, again, go back to the Constitution, right? If we look at a number of court cases, one of my favorites still standing to this day, Marbury versus Madison. That means that all laws that are repugnant to the supreme law of the land are null and void. So then you have to go back as a governor. What can a governor do that can bypass the legislative body without having to do any negotiations? Is make what's called a public nullification. There's too much going into what that actually looks like. I don't need to negotiate with the swine degenerates in office. Those people need to be held accountable, and I define accountability as it's time for you to go to prison. That's how this works. And so really, when it comes down to it, your health, your freedom, your choice, your body, it also falls under privacy. It's not anybody's business, your job, your child's school, or anybody else to know what you have or have not injected into your body, and therefore vaccines are exactly needs to be thrown out.
Thank you, Daniel Mercury. And last but not least from this round, Greta Solorzano for governor.
Well, thank you. And Jennifer, now I understand your question and where we're going with all of this. Okay, so the very first thing is I do definitely support legislation that is actually going to give parents the right to choose. I do remember having to give anywhere between 20 to 30 vaccines to my kids. And one day when we have more time, we'll talk about that. But parents have the right to choose. The second one is understanding the risk associated with each and every one of our decisions. Now, I do understand that what happened with COVID was significant, and there was a lot of abuse, and there were some drugs companies involved in it. However, one of the things that we need to understand is that this was the very first time for a very, very long time that we had a pandemic. What we need to develop is we need to develop policies that allow us to understand how we're going to deal with those policies. We can put all the legislation together that we want to. However, we need to have processes in place that will help us decide.
Greta. Thank you very much, Greta. All right, guys, we just finished round 2. Let's give them a round. Excellent, excellent work, you guys. Okay, we got somebody up next that's on your team.
There's 6 rounds, guys, 6 rounds.
Ronald Gomez!
Oh, okay. Well, the Californians were told that the COVID-19 vaccines were, quote, safe and effective. According to MedAlerts.org, as of March 27th, 2026, there were 97,395 COVID-19 vaccine injury cases in California. 97,395 people here in California submitted entries that they've been injured by the COVID-19 vaccine. Sadly, 762 Californians died from the COVID-19 vaccines, and these are conservative estimates. Add a couple of zeros to that figure, those figures, that's the real figure. If you were elected, how would you address this humanitarian issue? What steps would you take to ease the suffering of those injured by the vaccines? And isn't it time for the state of California to establish its own vaccine injury monitoring system?
All right, Doug, I think we gotta pause this.
Okay.
Because we just hit a ding, 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 like we gotta bring something to the table here. Doug?
Can you switch to my computer?
We're gonna switch over to Doug's computer real quick. Now, Doug, let's just give a little bit of background because there's something you wanna share right now. That question's a key ingredient to what you're gonna discuss. You have a background in
vaccines.
In vaccines, so tell us a little bit about that real quick, and then.
So before I was the Johnny Appleseed of election integrity, what brought me into the popular attention across the country nationally was that I was modeling the COVID epidemic in every county in America and in 30 countries. I also traveled throughout the Midwest for about 10 years lecturing on vaccines. How about that? So here we go. I'm a modeler. And I model everything. I model sunspots, I model epidemics, I model climate. And I was very popular in Ohio. People made a joke about it. They said, Dr. Frank has a graph for everything, you know? And I don't just model the surface, I get right to the bottom of things. Okay. But I model longevity. I make it easy for people to understand. I can show you how long you're going to live and the population demographics. You can even see over there on the right, you can see the bump due to COVID, the deaths in our country. The thing that got me the most attention, though, is that when the COVID stuff started happening, people would say, well, gee, Dr. Frank, should we take the vaccine? Oh, by the way, I got the health director of Ohio fired. I exposed that she was lying. She was reclassifying. See, I was modeling everything, and I could predict every state in the country. I could tell you in every county how many people were going to die every week.
Oh, guys, somebody's on feedback back there. We're getting Mike from the back of the house.
Is that all right? Okay.
There we go.
Sorry.
And Doug, hang on one second. So we've got Steve Hilton on the Zoom on standby. So we can bring Steve in and put him up, Steve on the screen. Okay, fantastic. But let's go back to the graph first with Doug. So I want Steve to be able to hear this though. So let's pull that. Yeah. Hi Steve, good to see you. Welcome, welcome. And back to you, Doug, so and the graph.
The biggest shock to me is I was able to predict all around the country. Suddenly I couldn't predict Ohio anymore.
Hey, Steve, can you hear us okay? Can Steve hear us?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you hear that, Stephen?
Steve, can you hear us? Hang on.
I got you, yeah, hi.
Oh, good,
okay,
good.
Fantastic.
We'll have
hey,
you on
Steve,
in a second.
We're so glad you're here. So, Steve, you just came in on a question. So, we're going to go back to that question in just a moment. And Doug Frank, Dr. Douglas G. Frank is representing us to Doug. I'm going to pass it over to you.
Right. So what happened was I discovered that the health director of Ohio was lying. And we exposed that, and that's how we got her fired. What she was doing, she was reclassifying deaths from 6 months earlier as current deaths, and that's why my models quit working in Ohio. They were working everywhere else, so we exposed that. Anyway, she's running for governor now. People have a short memory span, I guess. But I was modeling excess deaths and whatnot. But the reason this is important is because the question is asking, what are we going to do with all these people that have been injured? Okay, and that is a real issue. What got me thrown off the internet was I made this graph. I showed the risk versus time. In other words, if you're going to have informed consent, you need to say somebody. Imagine you line up 1,000 people and you say, we're going to give each of you a scoop of peanut butter, okay? And then somebody's going to have a shock reaction, an allergic reaction to it. Imagine if you line up 1,000 people and inject them with something, okay? You're going to have even worse issues. The definition of safe and effective is, according to the official definition, is 1 injury per million vaccinations. That's the official definition. And Ron just said that there were 97,395 injuries in the state and 762 deaths.
762.
Attributed. I mean, this is like far beyond. But the thing is the reason this is important is because the numbers show that our government was lying to us. And the numbers show that the problem is far worse than that. We all know how that turned out. It was not a good result. But if you do a graph showing the number of deaths reported by VAERS, the national setup for vaccine injury, you can see there's been a huge surge in the reports and then the excess expenses. I have a graph for everything. the excess expenses that, you remember all the people were saying, gee, after the vaccines, we're expecting all these turbo concerts. People were saying things like that. Well, here are the numbers. There's massive surges in this. So this is a real question. People are really dying from this. And we would expect it, even if the vaccine was a good vaccine, even if the jabs, which weren't really vaccines, there was only one, the J&J was the real vaccine. The other two were just, they were therapeutics, they call them. So even if they were good, we should expect some consequences. Even if they were safe and effective, we should expect some consequences. But this is far beyond that. So the question is how do we, if you guys are elected into office, what is your responsibility? What is your duty to these injured people? That's what you're basically bringing up. Because the government made a choice to take away your choice and force you to do something that injured you. What is your responsibility as elected officials? Yes?
So good, so good. Now, let's bring Steve Hilton back up on the screen, and let's have you ask that question. Steve, you can hear me, yes?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, beautiful. Okay.
Hello,
So
this is Ron Bowen Jr., the California Department of Public Health whistleblower. Californians were told that the COVID-19 vaccines were safe and effective. According to medalerts.org, as of March 27, 2026, there were 97,395 COVID-19 vaccine injury cases in California. And from that number, sadly, 762 Californians died from the COVID-19 vaccines. And I noted earlier that this is conservative estimates. If you were elected, how would you address this humanitarian issue? What steps would you take to ease the suffering of those injured by the vaccines? And isn't it time for the state of California to establish its own vaccine injury monitoring system? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry I was late. I missed perhaps some of the earlier discussion. I'm so happy to be part of it. I'm sorry I can't be with you in person. This whole discussion, every aspect of the Maha agenda is something I've been passionate about for more than a decade actually. And so I'm really, really proud and honored to be part of it. Specifically on vaccines, I just want to point out that I was the first to challenge the vaccine mandate right at the beginning of the whole thing. We've been working with Jay Bhattacharya at Stanford and some of the epidemiologists who later went on to produce the Great Barrington Declaration right from the beginning of the lockdowns, right back to February 2020. And so when the vaccines came out and the mandates were there, I put Jay on TV, we went together, we lobbied against them, the mandates, and we made clear that this is totally outrageous, unjustified on any grounds, on public health grounds, on any kind of grounds, and all the mandates should be dropped, all of them. And so that's the first point I want to make. And actually, if you could take it further back than that, on all of these outrageous authoritarian moves around the pandemic, I was the first to call them out. Right at the beginning, the lockdowns, the mask mandates, all of it. I was the first anywhere to really challenge it. People said I had blood on my hands and all that kind of stuff, taken off YouTube, etc. Right from the beginning of the pandemic. Specifically, I want to say that
Let's give him another minute.
I didn't realize we had
No, you're
time.
gonna. No. Steve, we're gonna give you a couple, and we're gonna give you a couple more minutes here, okay? Because
Yeah.
I know you're with us for a window, and then we're gonna open that up for you guys to respond as well, okay?
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First of all, we need a broad definition of vaccine injury, I think, which includes all those people who lost their jobs as a result of refusing to take a totally unjustified, to comply with a mandate. All those vaccines are injured, and we need to remember that, and not let that slip away. I actually said this in the first week of my campaign. I went and stood outside the French Laundry to say that as governor, on day one, I will appoint a COVID accountability commission, and we will look into all of this with legal force, including criminal prosecutions where necessary, and we will make sure that we have a process to take care of people who've been injured in all different ways, economically, physically, their health, all of that. We cannot and will not forget it. I have been incredibly strong on this from day one, and I'll be incredibly strong on it as governor.
Well said. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Stay with us, Steve. We're going to go over to Elaine Pilati. Elaine, let's have you pick up, and I'm going to give you some free. We're going to be able to make it all the way through, and I've got a couple more questions, but I'm going to give you a little bit more space right now. We're going to bring these over to 2 minutes.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Elaine.
How you doing, honey? Good to see you.
Very good, thanks.
Okay.
Sorry I can't be there.
We're talking about what would happen if I was in office with creating a better website or a better place for people who are vaccine injured to be able to list their injury. So you just made a good point. You know, injuries that can be a very big definition, and losing your job and your pension and things like that are definitely injury. And that happened to a lot of firefighters and people that just wouldn't do it. But more importantly, we have this other big, huge, looming issue, and that is immunity to drug companies that are creating vaccines. Now, I don't understand if you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old vaccines, why any immunity is needed. Because if you don't know by then if it's dangerous, then there's something wrong. So you have to have immunity time-barred legislation for these big pharmaceutical companies that make the most money and have no repercussion if something goes wrong. It's all about where the money is going to come from to pay for the people that are vaccine injured. And we have these massive immunity laws. Look, I have a daughter who's 30 years old. When she was 15 years old in high school, they were hustling her to get the thank you, what's it called? Gardasil. I said no, because I always say no to everything, so I just said no. But her girlfriends, you know, a lot of them are having trouble getting pregnant, and there's a lot of talk that it might be from the Gardasil drug. So here you go. There's this experience that I have had, and I didn't know anything about it. My instinct was to say no. What in the world is going to happen with immunity over Gardasil? Immunity has to go away.
Well done, Elaine. Very good, very good. We'll pass that to Scott. Hang on there, Scott. Let's go over to Daniel Mercury. Daniel?
Oh, thank you. Good to see you again, Steve. I love the beard. Although I still think I have the better beard, but I'm going to capitalize on what Elaine just said when we talk about the immunity. That is one of the key problems, but it's something that the governor can actually do as creating a state agency along with the other commissions and boards that we have. When you look at the 1986 Vaccine Injury Act that was instituted by Ronald Reagan, yes, it illegally gave immunity to the pharmaceuticals and manufacturer companies, which again is unlawful. And what they did was they created the Office of Special Masters, which is then what they do is they take tax money and they put it into a trust that then anybody who's injured, we the taxpayers get to pay on the pharmaceuticals damages. So if they cause the damage, you get to pay on it. And that's also a violation of the 14th Amendment. It's also a violation of the state constitution under equal protection under the laws. Well, you don't have equal protection under the laws when the opposing party that caused the damage has immunity. So that's a problem here. So one of the things that the governor can also do with the commission that they can create is to prevent further taxation going into the trust that then would starve the pharmaceuticals so that they are personally held liable until they pay up to the people that they have actually damaged, and that goes along with the FDA. And if we don't hold that accountability, meaning we don't shut them down or prevent them from actually allowing for them to even permit their concoctions that they want to inject into us, or their medicinal medication that they claim is true and trustworthy, then what are we doing here? Right? So again, what we come down to is that if you're a healthy person, you're a lost prophet, and they need you to be sick. And under my administration, we're going to ensure that we narrow it down per the counties, so we get down to local levels that then can be administered properly to the people who have been injured with these pharmaceuticals, that again, the governor can actually ensure that they no longer allow for distribution into our state under the 9th and 10th Amendment of powers not delegated or the enumerated powers. This is how this works.
Well done.
Thank you. Well done, Daniel Mercury. And Scott Shields.
My answer is going to be short here, but Steve, if you don't make it to 1 or 2 with me, you can be my double. Okay? but anyway, I think there's times, I heard somebody say this earlier, and I've said it before, that you need to work with the federal government and who's in the federal government that you can collaborate with and come up with solutions. Bobby Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Jr., obviously is head of HHS. It's the second largest budget outside of the military. It's a huge budget. He's in what I call, on my CV card on my website, you'll see it, the intersection of progress and tradition is fraught with alienation till success. He's in that intersection. He's got a lot of people on the pollers. He's got and he's doing a good job, in my opinion. In my opinion, everybody here, myself, should try to work very closely with Robert Kennedy, who was an attorney that sued corporations over and over and over and over again, legitimately, and then left and became friends with him. He didn't have emotion in it. It was intellect and heart to find a solution on how to take care of this problem. I'm not smart enough. I believe Bobby Kennedy is smart enough, and he's in the office that can make a difference for California and the people that have been hurt, and I know his heart's there. Personal opinion.
Thank you, Scott. She pass that right down.
Scott made a comment there.
Yes.
About, he was saying if you make it to 1 or 2. Remember, this is a jungle primary for the governor race. So
that's right.
It doesn't matter party, it's irrelevant. It's the 2 top vote getters in the primary. Go to the ballot. Doesn't matter whether it's Republican, Democrat, or MPP.
Yeah. So good, so good.
Just a reminder.
Okay, so what we're going to do right now is, Steve, you've got about 8 minutes left with us. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have Louis Herms go next, okay? And then we're going to take an opportunity in this time for you to share. I want us to stay on the subject we're on, Steve, and I want you to, give a response to. We'll have Louis share really quickly. That'll be 2, and then we'll have Jennifer. Let's have you share, okay? And then we'll have Steve respond to that. Before you go, Steve. Okay, Louis?
We think maybe it's possible if there was an actual pandemic, you wouldn't need to pay to advertise to get people vaccinated. Right? You think people might just be running as fast as they can to get vaccinated if it had efficacy? Is that possible? Right? Did you know they put almost $26 billion into advertising per year for the vaccines? Did you know the cable news networks were taking up to 70% in advertising? Did you know that you get paid, the doctors and the medicals, if you give them a COVID test? You get paid if you get a positive. Think about that. You get paid if you can enter them into the hospital. You get paid to give them remdesivir. You get paid to put them on an intubator, and then you get bribed as a family member money to sign off that they died of COVID for their death certificate. Is that a real pandemic? No. Would you really need to do that if there was a pandemic? No. Free donuts, get your jab. Right. Think about it. Never would happen. We need to be the education part of California from the governmental standpoint. We need to be honest and transparent with what's really going on. And absolutely, we could create our own type of VAERS system. But the reality, we also have to understand what VAERS is. VAERS is the most highly underreported system out there. So if they tell you there's 100,000 prior to COVID that died, it would probably have been millions. Based on my investigation, somewhere between 4 to 5% maximum are reported. Did you see that number that Doug put up? Multiply that by 20. We must remove immunities from these pharmaceutical companies.
Amen. Thank you, Louis Herms. And Jennifer Hawks.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Mr. Hilton. How are you? You're looking
great.
You're
Good
looking
to see you, Jennifer.
You're looking good. Well, the treasurer doesn't really make policy in the sense of what this question has to do with. So I'm going to use Steve. I'm going to use you as my example. I hope you don't mind. Steve Hilton gets in as governor, and I get in as treasurer. What's my job at that point? Number 1 is to align myself with Steve and make sure that his policies get pushed forward. And it's the director of finance and the controller and the treasurer that make the decisions for everything to flow out of. So independently, I can't create policy. I can suggest things, I can bring things to the table, I can be influential of the boards that I sit on, but ultimately, that policy will be made a little higher up the food chain. But as a part of that administration, I will have a voice. That's how I will support what's going on here right now in regards to this money. Thank you.
Excellent, Jennifer. Okay, Steve, we're going to come back to you. So I want you to piggyback off of what was shared here today. And Steve, you had said to me, Kim, this is the part, if I've got time available, gosh, this is the piece, the MAHA Leaders panel that I want to be a part of. So I'm going to pass it back to you. Why don't you share why?
Thank you so much. I want to bring together, I suppose, what you might think of as the two pillars of the MAHA movement: health freedom, which we've just been discussing, and healthy living. And just going straight off what was just said, particularly by Lewis, I think that the antidote to big pharma is natural food. And that combination of the two pillars of the MAHA agenda, I think we should be leading in California, because we have this incredible ag industry that grows the healthy food that we want people to be eating so that they can avoid chronic disease. We don't need all this medication if you live healthily, and so on. We should be world leaders in that. And I really am so excited that the whole MAHA agenda has taken off in our party. It's just so wonderful to see. I've been arguing this stuff for years. If you look at a book that I wrote in 2015 called More Human, Designing a World Where People Come First. And you look at I remember the first time I met Nicole Shanahan, and I gave her a copy of the book, and I said, Nicole, read the chapters on food and the chapter on health, and you'll see that that's the agenda right there. And we talked about it many times afterwards. But back in the day, when I was arguing all this stuff years ago, it was seen honestly as a little bit kooky. And if anything, something that more associated with the left. And it's so thrilling to me that we are now the leaders, that the president brought in Bobby Kennedy, and now they're working as a team, and we're having absolutely revolutionary change. And it's a Republican president and a Republican administration making that happen. It's just so fantastic. And that's what we need to replicate here in California. And as governor, I will be absolutely focused on this, both parts of it. Health freedom and healthy living. And so I can't tell you how much I appreciate the fact that we're all here together today and that we all really support this. We did a MAHA forum earlier this week, and Chad was there, and it was actually a really great moment of consensus between us and everyone. It's just, this is what we believe, and we're the leaders now in our party. It's absolutely magnificent to watch, and I can't wait to get in there and start driving this agenda forward in a really aggressive manner. Both parts of it. Health freedom, healthy living. California should be world leader on both of those.
Thank you, Steve. That's Steve Hilton. Now, Steve, stay with us for one more minute. This is important. So we're in San Joaquin, the bread basket of California. And Jen Gallardi is here with us right now from the Heritage Foundation. She's going to pull a question for you. And candidates, I want you to choose whether to respond to this question after Steve or the prior one. We're just going to kind of open it up and just keep this flow of conversation. So Jennifer?
The prior question was on what to do with the victims.
Exactly.
How to address the injury, or this question.
And also the Bears equivalent here in California.
Hi, Steve. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. As Kim mentioned, I work for the Heritage Foundation, a Restoring American Wellness initiative that's taking on a lot of these MAHA issues. And because you brought up the food as medicine, the nutrition piece of it, agriculture is really that path forward to that. You can't have that unless you have healthy soil and healthy food. So, California with its environmental brigade, they say they want climate resistance, public health, and a more sustainable food system, yet many small and mid-scale farmers say state policies make it nearly impossible to invest in regenerative, low-chemical, locally oriented farming. Between groundwater restrictions under SGMA, high labor and permitting costs, limited access to local processing, and regulations written for industrial-scale agriculture, farmers argue that California policy often penalizes diversification and local food production while favoring consolidation. What specific policy changes would you support to ensure California farmers can invest in regenerative, health-oriented practices, maintain control over their land and markets, and remain economically viable without being regulated out of existence by a one-size-fits-all rules?
Yeah. It's a beautiful question. I mean, in a sense, the answer is the question, which is we've got to do all of that. And I spent a lot of time in our great ag area, spent a lot of time at every aspect with farmers in the field, with workers, with processors. I've seen every side of it for years now. I've been traveling the state. Number one, the basic water. We've got to get more water, and SGMA is a response to artificial restrictions on water. We don't want groundwater depleted. That was the reason for SGMA. But actually, if we have more surface water deliveries, that wouldn't have happened in the first place. And so an immediate thing that we're going to do when I'm governor is get rid of the biological assessments in the State Water Resources Control Board, which actually divert the water. That's what's diverting the water out into the delta to protect the smelt and the salmon, whatever, rather than through the irrigation channels sending the water south. So that's the first immediate change that we can make. We can increase deliveries almost overnight just by making that change through appointments to the State Water Board. Longer term, we do need to invest in infrastructure. As many people have pointed out, we have the same water infrastructure today for a population of 40 million as we had when we had 20 million. We've passed bonds to build infrastructure. It hasn't happened. So we've got to do a bunch of things there. One of the ones that's not discussed enough is actually a relatively simple one for infrastructure, which is completing the South Folsom Canal. That would enable us to take the watersheds of the Tuolumne River and the American River and put it into our irrigation system, which massively increases supply. In terms of labor, we absolutely have to get rid of these ridiculous restrictive rules that make it so hard for farmers to operate properly, and it actually hurts the farm workers. It's done in their name by unions, but actually things like the overtime rule, which has gone up from 60, go down from 60 to 40, it's just totally destroying the livelihoods of many farm workers, which they earn less rather than more, and it makes it much more complicated for farmers to bring the crops in when it's harvest time, and so that's something that we need to change. In terms of regenerative, I think that's exactly right. You've got this industrialized approach to it all, and so you've got this board of pesticide regulation, but they're not actually, it's incredibly dumb the way they're going about it, and the bureaucracy around it is a nightmare. The reporting requirements, they've got a one-size-fits-all approach, as you say, and the good news is that as governor, you can get in there, clear it all out, and put in there pro-farming people and policies that actually should, something we do want scale. We don't want one size fits all in terms of the market either, but we can't be squeezing out the small family farms, and that's what's happening because of these cost pressures. The final one, very important, that isn't discussed enough is just energy cost. Just the cost of fuel, electric, all these things, and then the carb nonsense. Sorry, I've been going on with a long list of things we need to do. With carb pushing for electrification of agricultural equipment, that's ridiculous. We just got to have a complete change, which is going to push us in the direction of exactly what you say, which is we are the home of the healthy food that we want people to be eating here in California and across the country and across the world. And instead of crushing it, we should be massively investing in growing it, and that's what I'll do.
Good. Stephen, stay with us. Stay with us right now. Can I bring in?
I really can't, Kim, because I've got to jump on another interview. I'm so sorry.
Okay, well, we're just about to pop over the farmer who's running for Lieutenant Governor, David Kallenberg. So you'll have to come back and listen to this. If you could stay for a minute of David before you go. Could you stay for a minute?
I'll listen. Yeah.
All right, for 1 minute. David, now, this is a conversation you're going to have with Steve right now. So, Steve and the audience.
All right, Steve. We've had lots of conversations about agriculture.
Actually, pull that mic up close.
The one thing that I want to ask you is on day one, will you get rid of the emergency drought regulations that are in effect?
Yes.
So why is this important? Because that's how the unelected officials of the state water board have all the control over the farmers. And so this is where a lieutenant governor has no say, but a governor does. And this is the number one thing I advocate for. Right now, 2030, they have their emergency drought regulations in until 2030, drought or no drought. And a governor has the right on day one to get rid of it. I've asked Steve this before, he said he would. I'm asking him again. He's saying he will.
Yes.
And I'm going to hold him accountable to this if he gets in. The other thing about this is I've asked Steve if I don't win this, if I can have a seat at his table for agriculture. Steve?
Yes, and I'm delighted to say that, because that's what we've got to do. We've got to get, at the moment you've got these ideologues and bureaucrats who don't know anything about farming, they don't know anything about nature. It's all out of books or paper or theory or whatever. They actually don't understand. And so we've got to clear all those ideologues out and put in practical people who understand deeply. The people who care most about our environment, about nature, the people who live in it and work in it, ranchers, farmers. That's what we've got to get into all these agencies. As on drought, you're 100% right. It's a man-made drought. No, sorry, a Democrat-made drought. It's artificially created in order to give them power over us, and it's got to go.
Absolutely. Thank you, Steve.
Beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, Elaine Culotti, you have not had an opportunity. Elaine, hold on. Have you gone and responded to the question yet?
No.
Okay, I just have to make sure I'm checking it
Hi,
myself.
Steve.
2 hours
We
late.
need Greta
to talk up too, don't forget.
All right, here we go. I have a question for the farmer.
Greta, let's have you go next.
Ready? Okay, first of all, I have a farm. I might be the only, except you. I farm 50 acres. About 10 is row vegetables, and believe it or not, out of 10 acres, we do about 2,500 CSA boxes a week in high season. There you go. It goes to our local schools. My water bill is not so bad because I have wells. My neighboring farmers with the same size farm, their water bills are between 10 and 15,000 a month, and they pay my water bill dinners. That's how they pay their water bills. So I want to just ask real quick, just about this. My idea has been that we dredge the Delta, which we're all going to see tomorrow. Is anybody here on board with dredging the Delta? All right. And filling the Salton Sea, anybody? And does that make any sense? And removing the Shaughnessy Dam. Are these good or bad? Because I don't know. But these are the suggestions that have been put forth to me by some of the best water experts in California, including Ed Ring. Does anybody here know Ed Ring? Ed Ring is a water policy writer here in Stockton. Anybody? Okay, well, these are the ideas that have come up, and these are the ideas as governor that I would look at seriously. The first is to dredge the Delta. Then what do you do with the water? How about a deep water port here in Stockton? Has anybody talked to Christine, who is your mayor? I know her very well. And I'm the only one that visited her right after the shooting to not talk about the shooting. I wanted to talk about economics of Stockton. For those of you who don't know, Stockton is in its second bankruptcy. And the reason is because, hey baby, is because there's no economic development. With one of the best possible deep water ports in the country. In the country. There's no shipbuilding. There's no economic development. As a farmer, there are 82,000 of us under 200 acres. I am one of them. Many farmers cannot afford the Farm Bureau dues, and it's only $475 a year. We have to work on packing and shipping for small farmers so that the Pluot farmer is not selling to the Pluot farmer in Fresno, when the rest of the world doesn't know what a Pluot is. Large farming should carry small farming. If you carry fresh farm food on rail, it is 75% less than it is in any other mode of transportation. And only large ag has access to rail. But if you do a pay it forward, large ag will carry small farmed food across the country.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing like having a conversation. This was awesome. Was this amazing? It really was. Now, you've got candidates here who did not get to speak yet, so this is really important. So what I'd like to do is, why don't we go to Chris Fish, and then Greta, I'm going to come to you. And we're going to piggyback off of everything that's been spoken and let you pick it up from there. So why don't we go, Chris?
All right, hello everyone, I'm Christine Bish, candidate for Congress in California's 3rd Congressional District. Okay, well we're talking about California, California water, California farms. Well, the money that comes in, the regulations that come in, the budgets that come to California, a lot of it goes through Congress because we do control the power, we have the power of the purse. We control the money that's coming in. And what we've seen in the government in Washington, D.C., especially with members of Congress, not remembering that their duty is home. And it is to work with the farmers. We have to remind California water regulators that the water that is in California does not originate in California. It comes down through the Rockies. It flows to the ocean. And this is where national comes in, where my job in Congress is to make sure that we put the halt on California thinking that they have ultimate control, because these are national security issues. Food security, that is a national security issue. Water management, this is a national security issue. And as your representative in Washington, I will work with our governor.
Thank you. Very good. Very good. And you can pass that down. Just pass that down. We're going to work our way down there. Sean, Greta, we're going to have you go next, and then we'll have Sean Collinson go after that. So, Greta?
Okay, so this is definitely one of my areas of expertise. I really enjoy talking about this. Farmers are in deep trouble right now. It's not only the energy cost that is coming up with all the crises that we have around the world, and 70% of our oil right here in California is actually imported. Then we have the fertilizers. 90% of all the fertilizer that we use here in California is actually imported. All synthetic fertilizer. So the price of food, the price of housing is definitely coming up. So I want to give you a little bit of a statistic. In California, we get about 200 million acre feet of water a year. So we really are not in a drought. Only 25% of that our infrastructure can actually handle. So my goal as a governor of California is to ensure that we do have the storage facility, 1. 2, that we have a recycling system, and 3, desalination plants.
Thank you, Greta. Yes.
That's super important that what you said that.
Okay,
statistic.
so let's hold that.
200 million acre feet of water. Comes down in our Sierras or across the state, but we only have the capacity right now to handle 25% of it. Okay, so, but for example, Shasta Dam, we already have the money allocated to increase the height of it, and all we need is a little more infrastructure, and there's no drought, and we have all the water we need.
As
We just
it
have
was
to manage it
mentioned
a little bit.
before, the infrastructure is 40 years old, 60 years old, and here we are, population is growing, and we are not
That's an
investing on
important
it.
statistic. We have the water. We just need to build the infrastructure to manage it.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, so good, Greta. So good. Excellent. And why don't we go, Sean, you're up.
Sean Collinson for Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor's role is to work with the governor. So if it's Elaine Kaladi is elected as governor, I will work with her, Lewis. I will work aside Lewis to make sure that the number one thing for farmers, I'm speaking to farmers, I live in Los Angeles. I go out to Camarillo, the regulation is killing them. It's also killing small businesses. These folks are carrying California on their backs. Do certain parties want healthy, organic food? They do not. They want to do it a completely different way. They do not want the farmers to make it. So it's very important. I commend you for what you're doing as a farmer. That is very important. A lot of people spend times at farmers markets. We just have to have reasonable things happening in California. And I think that this election season, we are being educated. There's folks that are coming along doing that. I will work aside the governor to make sure that that happens. Thank you.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. And Evie Lynch.
Well, hello. You know, what I keep hearing is the same thing. Like Dr. Frank said, we have the water, it's just not being utilized. People say, oh, we have a homeless problem. Well, I say we don't have a homeless problem. We don't have a water problem. We don't have a money problem. We have an integrity problem. We have lawmakers who make laws for themselves and their buddies. We have to dredge the swamp here in California. We need to get new blood in there who truly understand what's happening at the lowest level. The farmers and the small businesses are the backbone of California and our our nation, and yet we treat them like they're throwaways. Well, as your Lieutenant Governor, I am going to fight to make sure that that stops. We have to make sure that people who are coming into the Senate, who are coming into the legislature, have integrity. How do we do that? We do the work of researching what they did, not what they say. Because people could tell you anything. But my job is to protect you and your interests. So I'm going to make sure that the commissions are filled by people with integrity. I'm going to make sure that at whatever party, I'll work with them to elect people that have integrity. Because that's what we need to bring back to California. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you, Evie. So good, so good. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of a roll call. Scott, you have not gone yet. That is correct. You've not gone yet. And Daniel, did you go yet on this question? What was that? Yeah, you did not go on this question. Okay, so I'm going to have Scott go, then Daniel, and I think we've hit everybody, right?
I think the rule is that you went on the other question.
Yeah, no, choose one or not, or combine them together, because we want to hit that last question, but I want to give you guys the opportunity to be heard, right? Okay, so let's do this. Scott, let's have you go, and then Daniel will have you go.
I'll be quick. If you're a Republican like Steve, and Steve, he's not on right now. David, that was great, getting him to commit to you. He poached my lieutenant. He poached my lieutenant governor guy at the time. Not their fault, not my fault. Very bureaucratic. I'm here in California. We can bring a lot of money here to solve a lot of the problems that all of you are asking about, or that you know about. And I rely on all of you if I'm there, because a lot of brain trust here. Absolutely.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you so much. So good. And Daniel.
Well, I'm an amazing farmer. You know, I really love tequila, and I have this little lime tree in my backyard. I swear I almost killed it, but I worked really hard to keep it alive, and now I'm amazing at keeping lime trees growing and proliferating. But no, at the end of the day, I'm not going to go over, clearly we hear lots of, it's not really, I like what he said, it's a integrity issue. We have the water, we have the ability to increase the infrastructure, we have all kinds of legislation that is blocking the ability. I'm just going to touch on real briefly, one of the things when I look in the state constitution, it talks about riparian rights, which is basically water rights for people who own farming and land that, you know, natural resources sort of flow through, that the state takes advantage of to then rechannel and move and shift elsewhere that they can actually siphon, and then it starves out that area. And one of the things that they do is they do it on purpose because they know that agriculturally, and just give me a moment before this goes, the buzzer goes, and I think it's important. Agriculturally, are the weakest areas per se, and the easiest to actually crush the economy, which is why one of the main reasons here in Stockton you also have you have another solar panel farm that wants to be created here with Meta Data Center, right? If they can crush you, they can economically, you know, shrink you, then it's easier for, you know, again, all these other unions and these corporates to come in and buy up all the land of the natural resources that are rich in minerals and soils. So.
Good
well
point.
said. Well said. Good. Very good. Very good. I let that go on purpose because that needed to be heard. Now, we do have. Yeah, I think let's give Louis Herms 30 seconds and Jennifer. Let's give you 30 seconds because I know
Jennifer
you guys
Haas,
want to comment.
treasurer. This is something that I have been looking at because this falls under bonds. We have passed bonds for water storage, but you know where the money goes? It doesn't go to the project. Do we have any of those water storages built? No. Just like our drain to nowhere, we have nothing. Because it's an accountability issue. That money goes out the door, and the next thing we know, it's in the hands of consultants, environmentalists, and everything else. It gets funneled, and before you know it, there's no money left. So right now, 2033, I'm going back to the train thing, just to tie this thing around. The train bond that we put out in 2008 comes due in 2033. It is right around the corner. It is the same problem that we have with the water storage and everything else. Thank you.
So good, Jennifer. And let's go to Louis Herms. 30 seconds, Louis.
So just real quick, a healthy people historically are a profitable people. A healthy people absolutely have more babies. A healthy people are more prosperous. So where are we going to invest? Let's invest to have the best quality food we could possibly ever have, and therefore we'll have healthier people, more prosper, and what a wonderful investment. I'm sure it'll pay tenfold.
So good, so good. All right, guys, was that an amazing round? That was so good. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're now into media time, but we've got to get to this last question. Okay, Dr. Kurt, you're up. Let's have you. You want? Okay, yeah, way to go.
This is the last question of this section, then we're going to media.
Yes, and I'll close it up though.
All right. Wow. Got really quiet. As you all know, California has moved aggressively on gender identity politics in schools. Everyone's like, yeah, here it comes.
Not anymore.
Gender identity politics in schools, healthcare, and child welfare. And many parents believe the state is crossing a dangerous line. Critics point to proposals like SB 934, which they argue could expand the state's authority in cases where parents decline to affirm a child's asserted gender identity. Do you support any policy that would allow the state to investigate, override? This seems like a simple yes or no question. So this one should go pretty quickly. Do you support any policy that would allow the state to investigate, override, or remove children from their homes based on a parent's refusal to affirm societal or medical gender transitions? And if not, where do you draw a hard line to protect parental rights and prevent government intrusion into family decision-making?
Daniel Mercury, you were the last to go. We're going to give you it's the first now.
Okay. How much time do we get? 5, 6 minutes? No.
So let's give you your funding. Let's do this, guys. Let's. You can do that in a minute. Yeah. And then I'll let you guys do after this. We'll do closing statements. Okay.
Well, first off, no. I don't support any legislation in furthering of any of these laws in the transgenderism or infringing upon parental rights. The parental rights really comes from the laws of nature and of nature's God, which is written in the Declaration of Independence. So government doesn't have any right to actually infringe upon a parental decision with their child. And if anything, it's doing nothing but causing more harm to our children when you do that. And of course, when you look at the statistics when it comes to children who are getting put on hormone blockers and so on, they actually have a higher suicide rate. And, you know, it's unfortunate that we have the courts who sit there and they try to placate and pander to this advocacy. So one of the things that I'm going to be focusing on is our judges, right? We need to get rid of a lot of these judges. So in the state of California, we have the Judicial Performance Committee that the governor can actually appoint 4 of the 11 bodies to begin investigations to start removing these judges who are also hurting our children.
Thank you. Very good, very good. You can give that to Greta. Greta, we're going to have you go next.
Okay, so this is definitely something that I'm really interested in. And one of the things that I was doing is I was looking at some of the kids that are in kindergarten that live in my neighborhood. And these kids come with all those rainbow things. And I'm wondering, why does a kindergarten kid needs to understand a rainbow? Some people say that that is inclusion. I think that is a crime that is brainwashing our kids and that is destroying our society. Kids that are 10 to 13 get to see equipment that they are used for male and females that want to change their sexes. As a governor of California, one of the things that I will do is I will hold the educational board people in charge of it for the curriculum. I will make the curriculum transparent and I will open the school of choice. I want to make sure that parents have the right, like I did, I had the right to send my kids to a private school because I didn't want them to be influenced by these policies. As a governor of California, I will make sure that kids have the right to attend to schools where they are not being indoctrinated.
Very good. Thank you, Greta. And let's go over to Chris Bish. Chris, the microphone. Thank you. Excellent.
Hey everybody, it's Christine Bish, candidate for Congress in California's 3rd Congressional District. Now, gender identity. It's not about gender, it's about sex. And you can't choose what it is. But there's something I did want to bring up, and this is at the federal level, where we have to have uniform birth certificates across the country. Because I want to read this real quick. California allows residents to change the gender marker on their birth certificate to male, female, or non-binary or X without a court order or medical certification. In California, you can choose as an adult what you want to change your gender to. We've got to get back to a uniform policy, national, that's based on sex and what you are born as a male or a female. There are no X's out there. There are no binaries. Well, maybe there's a couple, but those are accidents. But what I'm saying is, we need to set a uniform standard, and this affects national security. When people can alter their identity at will, that is a security issue, and we cannot allow California to control it.
Thank you, Chris. You can hand that to Evie. Evie? Evie Lynch? Evie Lynch, you're up.
Miss Integrity.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question? What was the question that we're answering?
Would you support any legislation that essentially refutes parental rights, and then where would you draw the line?
So, like I said before, parental rights are given by God, so I don't support any legislation that tells a parent that the government has more rights than they do when it comes to their children. So, no, I wouldn't support any legislation that took away the parents' rights. That's simple.
Okay, thank you, Evie. Very good, very good. Let's pass that over to Louis Herms.
I want to take this in another direction really quick. Anybody hear of AB 495? So the left was told that AB 495 was about protecting immigrants, and the right was told that AB 495 is all about child sex slavery. Well, as a person that knows more about child sex slavery than almost anybody you might know, I can tell you that's not true. We were sold a bill of goods. What it is before AB 495, if you went into your doctor and said, I do not want to vaccinate my children, they would browbeat you and try to get you to do it. Now, or if you said, I want to gender affirm or I don't want to gender affirm, guess what? Now under AB 495, the nurse can go into your school, withdraw your child, try to change their gender, which is impossible, by the way, or vaccinate your child. We need to have the education so we know what's really going on, and we're not buying the left or the right, because it's an illusion of choice, and it's very important for us to know what's going on.
Thank you, Louis. Scott Shields.
Absolutely no. And Louis is absolutely right, and why we need a California public broadcast system, so we can put Louis on TV, Daniel on TV, Evie on TV, David on TV, Elaine on TV, in interviews when the press won't interview them. I have a gentleman here I got to give a shout out to right now. His name's Don Bahana.
Woohoo! We love you, Don. Woohoo!
He's a good friend of mine. He spent 25 years in jail. I'm working with him on justice reform. He's 88 years old. Came to this event from LA.
Wrongly accused.
Everybody wrongly accused, by the way. Yeah, it's on the website if you want to read it. We did a whole analysis, and I've been supporting this guy big time because it's important. And nobody will talk about it because it was Michael Jackson's brother's
ex-wife. Yes.
And this guy got railroaded. And he would not say he was guilty, and he could have got out in 5 years. Talk about integrity. He's got it. Read about Don Bahana. Okay, it's important, and anybody here at Heritage too.
So good, Scott. And I want to present to you guys, one of the questions for the governor debate tomorrow will be in the prison system. So you might want to just do a little bit of digging, and we will bring in the example of Don Bahana. We're honored, Don. We're honored to have you here. We've had many conversations together. I'm so glad that Scott introduced us, and you are a warrior. And I just gotta tell you, he could be, Don, you could be bitter. We've talked about this. You could be resentful. You guys, he is so joyful. And what Don has is, he lived 25 years. He's going to tell you what the prison system needs. He's going to tell you what's wrong. He is the key expert. Okay? And we're going to be talking to you more tomorrow, Don. All right, we're going to pop back over. Come on. So, Collenberg, let's get you going. David Collenberg, Lieutenant Governor.
Well, as you guys know, I have 6 kids. So anything that is passed that...
Say that again. What did you say?
I said I have 6 kids, so
I love it.
Anything that is passed, period, that takes my rights from me parenting my children how I want, those people should be in jail, straight up. So, you know, anything that, whether it's gender affirming or male, female, there is only two genders, male and female. That's it. There should be no males in women's sports. There should be no males in women's bathrooms, period. And if there is, whoever allowed it should go to jail, straight up. Thank you.
Well said, well said. Let's get that mic down to Sean Collinson.
Sean
there we go.
Collinson for Lieutenant Governor. Look, the government should not be dealing with kids. They should not have any authority over our kids, period. I am a girl dad. I have 2 girls. I do not want biological males having in sports with my girls. Any legislation, I'm a hard no, period. End of story. I don't even have a lot to talk about on that subject. As the Lieutenant Governor, I would sit as the President of the Senate to break crucial legislation that comes across my desk. Automatically, it's a hard no. I will break that tie in 2 seconds. There'll be nothing to discuss, period. So anyone going into our schools, talking to our kids, I have a 13-year-old son. I just want him to enjoy his life, be healthy, have fun. I don't want the government hands anywhere near it.
Right.
Period. Anyone discussing it with me, if you don't align, don't stand. We cannot stand together if you have any other opinion on that.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Jennifer. Jennifer Hawks.
California State Treasurer. Well, first of all, I know for a fact I'm a woman. I don't have to have anybody try to define that for me. I know exactly who I am. And you know something? This goes all the way back to Genesis 1, and nothing has changed. He made them male and female. Well, I can't affect what's going on in the legislature, and I can certainly support the initiatives of the governor. Where I'm going to have a voice is, one of the things that they've already pushed through is this community school. Have you heard about it? $4.1 billion has been added to the school systems to create these community hubs where basically it's 12 hours of influencing your kids. So that's how they're kind of doing a roundabout. Well, how does that affect my office? Let me tell you how it affects my office. That puts pressure on the pensions because now we're going to have to hire staff, healthcare individuals, and everything else that are going to be going back into the school system, which puts more pressure on the pension. And all of those pensions are already underwater. Most of them are sitting at about 70% under, or 70% funded. And anyway, that's how it's going to affect you and me as taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And let's pass the mic down this way. Elaine. Elaine Kulati.
Ruh-roh.
Get off your phone,
I'm
Elaine.
Claudia, and I'm running for governor. If I'm governor, I am going to work very hard on school vouchers. Why? Arizona's a school voucher state, $17,000 per student per year. School vouchers take away the money that goes into our state education system and give it to the parent to make a decision, which creates a competitive school environment. Nobody wants to go to a school where kids are mandated to get vaccines or other things, change their sex, whatever it is. You want control as a parent. I don't think it's really kind of an iffy question. My answer is straight up no. I would never pass any legislation that has anything to do with taking any kind of parental rights away. But it's a big state and there is a lot of indoctrination. And it happens all the way through school and into college. So your kids are being indoctrinated and microdosed, and eventually the kid that you raised as a conservative is a little social communist. I know I have one. So the best thing to do is take the power and the money away from the schools, give it to the parents, and let them put their kids in a school of their choice. Specifically one that's not indoctrinating your children. Why is my microphone?
Thank you, Elaine. Because your buzzer went off. Okay, so who is still remaining on this question that's not answered? I think everyone's, oh my gosh. We just made it through all the questions. Was that amazing? Yes, we did. A round of applause for these guys. Well done, you guys. All right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take 30 seconds. We're going to go right down the road, boom, to the end. Okay? Well, do you want to say something? Do you want to speak? 30 seconds. You got media waiting for you. Okay? Well, tomorrow we've got a debate too, and the election transparency piece of it as well. Okay? Oh, you can't be here tomorrow.
Just remind us who you are and what you're running for.
Hold on.
I'd really like to talk to you guys about what's happening with the governor's election, because we're in a bit of a, I'm sure you all saw the debate, right? Everybody saw the debate? All right. The Democrats are going to coalesce, no offense. They're going to coalesce. They're going to probably, I think Katie's out first, and that's about 15 points, and that will be divided by then 3 Democrats. Do you understand? And then, pardon?
Primary set though, right? Balance and balance.
Well, hold on a minute, okay? The Democrats are going to coalesce. They've been at this a really long time. Act Blue has raised $1.5 billion. They outraised us 8-1. 8-1. You want to win this election, you have to have a middle podium. And I'm not lobbying for me. Vote for me, you vote for us. That's not the point. The point is, if Katie Porter drops out, which she will because they will find her a cushy job, her 15 points will be spread between Democrats. They're not no one voting for Katie Porter is going to vote for Steve Hilton or Chad Bianco. Do we understand that? Can we agree? Where do the 15 points go? To the other remaining Democrats. Then they get rid of Becerra. How do we know this? Because Katie went after 2 candidates. She went after Becerra and Steyer, but not Mahan. Why? Because Act Blue has put $10 million behind Mahan in less than 8 weeks. And they gave Becerra $650,000 to get him onto the debate stage after we lost Swalwell. They're going to coalesce. If we don't have a middle podium, they will win. You have to push, please, for polling and a debate stage. Polling and a debate stage. If I cannot debate, I cannot poll. If I do not poll, I cannot debate. It's a trap, and they're using it. Emerson polled Becerra at 10 points and gave him $650,000 to get him on the debate stage. Why? Because those points stay with the Democrats. They cannot control an independent podium, and they can't control the Republicans. They might be able to control Steyer. He's probably last to go, but he's going. Sure as the sun is coming up tomorrow, there will be a Democrat that gets the primary. And now you have a 60% stronghold. If you want to win, you got to have an independent. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, Elaine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I want to touch on something that Elaine brought up that was really important. You all need to do a deeper dive into Act Blue. Okay, there's a reason why they have the money and how they're utilizing that money. But if you haven't seen Operation Clean Sweep 1, 2, and 3, I want you guys to watch that. That's at takeyourpowerbackshow.com. Operation Clean Sweep 1, 2, and 3. It'll show you how that money is being funneled into Act Blue. And they have been recently disclosing this over the past week, okay? They're utilizing that money for, what's the word I'm looking for? Geopolitical shifting, I'm just gonna leave it right there. You gotta go look at where that money is going. Fraudulent mortgages is one of them as well. So the corrupt money is being utilized to fund corruption, okay? That's what's happening in this state. So I just kind of wanted to put a little pin in that.
I just want to say that Act Blue received $57 million of our fire aid fund. Yes. And they distributed $75 million to 180 small nonprofit NGOs, whatever they were. None of the money went to fire aid, but they are using our fire aid money to push Democrats into office. It is a big sham.
So, Elaine, thank you for bringing that up, and love you. Love your heart. Yeah, no, I understand. This was an incredible time today. We're not done. You guys have 30 seconds. I want you to state who you are, what you're running for, and your call to action for the people. Okay? Your call to action for the people. Let's start with Greta Solorzano.
My name is Greta Solorzano. I'm running for governor of California. Why am I running for governor of California? Because I see the immense dependency that we're becoming under. Right now, 70% of our oil is imported. Our water infrastructure is under detriment. If you look at refined oil, 40% of it is imported. If you look at a fertilizer, 90% of it is imported. The bottom line is that we become independent when our food, our water, and our energy are controlled by other sources. We are in trouble. I am involved because I have the experience. I have 30 years of experience in the energy and the water infrastructure. And my goal is, if nothing else, for you to become aware of how we're being used, abused, and manipulated, and this globalistic society is going to come and destroy our economy.
Ding, ding, ding. Where's my 30-second bell? That was great, Greta. 30-second bell. All right, let's go to Daniel.
Daniel Mercury, running for California governor. Why am I running? Because I'm tired of everything falling on deaf ears, right? There's no accountability, right? Why isn't anybody being investigated, right? No one's being prosecuted. We don't see anybody going to jail, and yet we keep perpetuating the same problem. So this is one of the primary reasons why I've jumped into this race. It's affected me, my finances, my children, and at the end of the day, we have a bunch of ignoramuses in office, and we have a bunch of people that are in there right now that are getting away with pretty much murder. So what are we going to do about it? And this is why I'm up here. And I'm going to say this just before this goes.
Why don't you just go first?
Yeah.
One
more thing I'm going to say this is that the NPPs here in the state of California have swelled to almost 7 million people now. And as the SOS, when I spoke to them, that's not even the most accurate number, which means both the Democrats and the Republicans have dropped, which they haven't publicized yet, which means this is one opportunity, I'll agree with Elaine, that we need to get an independent on that panel. And if we don't do that, then this state is going to really flip upside down, even more so than what it is now.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you. Lewis. Yeah, let's reset that clock. We're going to give him a full minute. We're just going to do a minute all the way through right now. Thank you so much. Lewis?
Lewis Herms for governor. Many of you have heard about the Southern Poverty Law Center, the SPLC, and what's going on there? Okay. Well, in order to get listed on the Southern Poverty Law Center's website, their hate map, you have to be a fighter. I've been the #1 target of the SPLC for 3 years running in California. It's documented. I'm the only one person listed 3 times in the whole country. Why is that? Because I've been fighting like crazy against child sex trafficking, the medical mafia, election fraud, and what I call WARF, the waste, abuse, redundancy, and fraud that's over 75% in California. The only way we're going to win this is you have somebody that's willing to take the slings and arrows and have the courage to absolutely destroy the evil parasites that have been holding us down for all this time. That's it. That's the only way it's going to happen. God called me to do this. I'm here, and I will die on this hill for you and we the people. God bless you.
Thank you, Lewis. Thank you, Sean Collinson.
Sean Collinson, I'm running for Lieutenant Governor, and I'm sick and tired of politics as usual. Period. My why is bigger than me, because as a mediator, I'm called to get an agreement that the people can live with. I can tell you it was an honor I didn't know what to expect today, but I can tell you if this panel was running California, we'd be a lot better off. Everyone on this stage should be proud of yourselves. I've been in a lot of panels. This may be one of the best panels I've ever been on.
Come on.
And it's an anomaly to me that Elaine Colati and Lewis Herms, I don't know you, Greta, but I do know Lewis, are not at this debate. That is pure sabotage by Act Blue. Whoever is creating that should be ashamed of themselves. The people of California should have an opportunity to listen to everyone. As a mediator, my goal is to make sure you're heard. They should be heard. I'm Sean Collinson, your candidate for Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Sean. Evie Lynch.
Well, my name is Evie Lynch, and I'm running to represent you as your California Lieutenant Governor. Why am I in this? Because for me, this is a calling. I truly believe that right now, for such a time as this, God is calling up people with integrity. That's something that we haven't had before, and I think everybody feels the energy in the air that there's change happening. There's change happening because we are done with the politics of yesteryear. The politics that say you don't know how to choose for yourself, so I'll choose for you. How do they do that? They limit you to choices of one or two, maybe. And it's not really a choice, because when you choice, your vote is taken away by having people who are not supposed to vote. We have to make sure that we stand up every single time. Does it take our breath away? Yes. We have to stand up for what is right every single time and vote in people with integrity. That's who I am. I'm a fighter, 24 years in the military. I worked in the prison system, a level 4 prison. I'm not afraid. I'll fight for you.
Thank you, Judy. Well said, well said. Jennifer Hawks. Jennifer Hawks, California State Treasurer. I am not a career politician. I have never run for an office before, and God willing, after this, I'll never run again. I am doing this because I did not grow up wealthy. I grew up dirt poor. And I have worked my fanny off my whole life, and so have my parents. I was able to retire in 2021 at the age of 61. Not too bad. And I did that through hard work and grit, honesty, and serving my maker. I'm back in this because I realize that the fiduciary responsibility of this state is in trouble, and I am determined to step into the game, grab the bat, and swing hard. I'm going to go to Sacramento. I'm going to figure out what's going on in that treasurer's office. I can tell you right now, it's probably not going to be very good from what I've found so far. And I'm going to be a part of the solution to get this state back on track again. Jennifer Hawks, California State Treasurer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And Christine Bish.
Christine Bish, candidate for Congress in California's 3rd Congressional District. I'm the only federal candidate on this stage. And I am running in the 3rd District. Why? Because California pushed us into Prop 50, where they are trying to gerrymander our state. They're trying to gerrymander every state in the country for one reason: to take back control of the House of Representatives, to put us into 2 more years of Russia, 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 to stop the agenda going forward, to stop the securing of the borders, to keep us so we are not energy independent, to take away national security, to starve our farmers, to corrupt our children, to make sure that we are not a secure nation. So the call to action here is, if you are in the 3rd Congressional District, I humbly ask for your vote. If you are not, you can go to bishforcongress.com. That's bishforcongress.com. You can volunteer, you can donate, you can make phone calls, you can help us share on social media. The fate of this country determines where we're going to be over the next 2 years, and you need to send a bitch to Congress and adjust the bitch to get things done.
David Cullenberg.
I'm Siskiyou County farmer, David Collenberg. I'm running for Lieutenant Governor. If we don't fix the water in the north, we will not have water in the south. We're in the breadbasket of California right now. And if we don't elect a farmer to go fight for this, we're gonna go hungry. The government's gonna control our food. It's gonna happen. I'm the only candidate for Lieutenant Governor that my ballot designation is farmer. So when you guys go vote for a farmer. Thank you.
Thank you. Scott Shields.
Scott Shields, shieldsforgovernor.com. This is important. I put this out to Fox Media, I put it at the Epoch Times, I put it to Newsmax, I put it to CBS, I put it to ABC, and I put it to the other one, CBS. None of them have replied yet, and none of them will do it. I need Steve Hilton or Bianco, who are the 2 leading Republicans, to hold a debate with everybody that's running. I've met a lot of Democrats that, just like you as independents, that aren't on the top tier, that are sharp as you, and they don't get a voice either. I'm one of them, okay? We need a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday debate every night on one of these stations, okay, with 8 people randomly chosen. And Steve Hilton and Bianco, you shouldn't be scared of anybody. The Democrats won't show up, I assure you, and that will give me the nomination as a Democrat. Okay, because the Democrats won't show up, but I've had some really good Democratic candidates that you don't know about, just like nobody knows about this group, and you were right on the money. This is a sharp group.
Well said, Scott Shields. Thank you. And Elaine Kulati.
Okay, I'm back on the debate thing. This might take longer than a minute. I just want everybody to understand how this works. When you do a poll, The largest poll in the country is the UC Berkeley poll. They polled 3,800 people, but only for presidential elections. I'm ignoring the clock. There are other polls, Emerson, Madison McQueen. The average poll size is 100 to 400. Okay, so 5,000 people make a decision what the polls are in California, if you add it all up. And they wash and they repeat and they wash and they repeat. So none of this matters if you don't get the phone call and fill out the poll. That's how the polls are made. That's how the polls are made. What's worse is the questions on the poll say, do you like these Democrats or these Republicans? It does not say, do you like these independents? When a poll says we polled independents, that means they went to independent voters and said, do you like these Republicans or these Democrats? It's not the same thing. Do you understand?
That was Elaine. Excellent job. Can we give Elaine a hand? Can we give our candidates a hand? KalaniForCalifornia.com. There we go. All right, so let's actually pass that mic down, gentlemen. Let's pass it down to the end. Let's go all the way down that way. Yeah, fantastic. And is that everyone's phone going off? There's calls coming in because they're all listening finally. All right, hold right there, Ron. So Ronald, we're going to bring this back to the MAHA teams, okay? And what we're going to do right now is governor candidates, state candidates, you really did an amazing job. And I know Doug and I feel blessed to be here with you guys and the MAHA leaders. So let's start with you, Ron. I want to ask you your call to action to the governor candidates, then we'll go to Dr. Kirk Collins, and then we'll finish with you, Jennifer. And Ron Owens.
What is your call to the candidates?
What's your call to action for the candidates?
Talk to the vaccine injured.
One more time, nice and loud.
Talk to the vaccine injured. I know a lot of them, and they're suffering every day.
Well said. Well said. And Dr. Kirk Collins?
I mean, my call more to the people.
Yep.
One thing that I didn't expect today from this group was
For me,
it's
it's
not
fair.
really about any of them.
The others for me,
I think
saying,
when
you
you
know
get
what?
into
They had their
the
answers
top
prepared.
Democrat, the top Republican ones, they give the
They're
vote
not
for. It's like,
freestyling their
it's about
answers.
them and their party and the people they
She
serve. And
comes up
somehow,
every
if
single
we as
time
the
and
people can
she
understand,
hits it on the
it's
bullseye.
us and it's a small billionaire ruling class.
And
that's
she's
manipulating
not
and
afraid to
turning
be
it
herself.
against each other, using religion, using sex, using color, using politics. Somehow, and I don't know the formula with the way if we can take that power back somehow to the people, spend a little bit of time educating ourselves on these 6 or 12 issues that really matter, figure out how to educate the public on what really happens through this process. That's where we win, and God bless all you guys for setting your lives aside. I know you're putting a lot at stake to just be heard, knowing that the outcome is a long shot, but it matters just what we're doing here today. So I want to pray up over you guys and encourage you to have people praying for you, because you literally are going in trying to take darkness and bring light. God bless you for that.
Plato said that the penalty for refusing to get involved in politics is you end up being governed by your inferiors.
Well said. And Jennifer Gallardi.
I think, I'm preaching to the choir here, but the MAHA movement, or whatever it's going to be called moving forward, we might lose that moniker. We might not be Make America Healthy again when Kennedy goes. But I think people are awake to what it means to not be healthy and what it means to have the government almost force ill health on you. So I would just say continue to speak to that contingency. They're loud, they're powerful. I don't think it's going away. We might lose a couple of the battles, but it's a long war ahead to take back our health freedoms, to take back sovereignty over our children and over our health. So, whether we like it or not, politics is a dirty game, and you do have to somehow pick sides and choose someone. So I think it's important to, speak to those people and give them a reason to choose you when it comes to the MAHA issues.
So good, Jen. Thank you. Hold on to that right now. So good.
Giving her
Doug, I'm
platform.
going to go to you, and then we're going to close it up because they're going to reset this room for the banquet tonight. And we have a full house for the banquet, by the way, which is exciting. Doug, we've heard a lot today. We just get to be moderators, guide the conversations, and an expert. You being the expert.
At
from
what?
Say that again? You got yours?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's go, let's go, bring it.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so you being the expert, why don't you tell us, what is your call to action to the people and to the governor
They
candidate?
have the debate tomorrow. I know you ain't.
Well, I guess if you're calling me an expert, I would say I don't know anybody who has traveled the country more than me the last 5 years. Been in 48 states, on the road 25 out of 30 days a month, and working with grassroots teams. And the lesson I've learned, to your point, is that the solution isn't top down. The solution is bottom up. And the solution is when citizens engage the local government, when citizens run for school board, when citizens become county leaders and whatnot. And that doesn't happen unless we have good elections. And so that elections are kind of the elephant in the room, which is why that's what I focus on. I tell people all the time that the story with David and Goliath, that Goliath wasn't the problem. Goliath was the elephant in the room. The problem was that the children of Israel were hiding in the hills. And it only took one person to stand and say, battle's the Lord's, I'm going to take this on. And then once, the Bible says, once David slew Goliath, then the children of Israel rose up and chased the Philistines out of the land. And that's where I think, if you were going to ask one piece of advice, I think that's what I'm so excited when you see, as I travel the country, I see people waking up. I see a political revival happening. Well, look at it right here. I see a spiritual revival happening. I see people realizing, hey, if we're waiting for the government to fix it, Trump, you might like him, you might not like him, but he can't even get the SAVE Act passed, okay? It tells you that's where we're at, okay? The solution is not top down. If you're waiting for Washington to fix it, if you're waiting for the state government to fix it, the solution's us.
That's right, yes. John.
That David and Goliath story is very key. He chose 5 smooth stones. He only needed one. And the key thing about him confronting Goliath, he ran toward him. He ran toward his enemy. He ran toward him.
Woo! So good. Governors, state candidates, you guys are amazing. Maha leaders, amazing. You guys, this is just the beginning. This is day 1. And this was rich. So get ready, because tomorrow is a big day. From the breadbasket to the ballot box, it's all connected. We are taking our California back. A special mention to every single one of you guys. You are warriors. It is an honor to be on a stage with you. It's an honor to do this journey with you guys. So thank you. And a big thank you to our live streamers. Our live streamers who are with us all the way through the weekend and setting yourselves up to be here. Guys, we want to say thank you for being with us. A big thank you to our tech team, to Kenny and Molly and Carla and our entire team. I just got to say, guys, we are able to do this because of you. And a big thank you to our sponsors. And I want to highlight again Jennifer Hawks, thank you for helping fund this movement. Thank you for being a supporter. We're so grateful. Daniel Mercury, thank you for funding this movement. Thank you for supporting us. We're so grateful. Biblical Voting, Salt and Light, Dren Reese, you're not here with us, but we want to say thank you so much for supporting us, guys, and vote your biblical values. Go to that website. We're going to be showing that all throughout the weekend. And then the Farmers United PAC. You guys, they built this stage for us. This was a gutted room. We had chandeliers, which was awesome, but they put in the time. Robert Solari, who worked with our entire tech, I think he's had an hour's sleep, guys, from last night. No joke. I mean, these guys, amazing. Just the Farmers PAC, you guys, thank you for supporting us. And last but not least, we got Chris Bish. Chris Bish was an awesome funder too. Great support. Chris, thank you for helping fund this movement. And for all of you that participated, our live streamers, you guys coming here, supporting us by purchasing a beautiful.
I'm gonna see if I could bring Elaine back here. I can't go up there because I'm
You
gonna lose
guys
service.
go get your t-shirts today. They're
But
at
we'll
the back
give
of the house in a
Elaine
gift
some
for all of you
time on the
here.
platform.
You guys get a
Let her
t-shirt.
finish
Take with
what
you.
she
Wear
had to
it.
finish
Wear it
and
for
she got
sure.
cut off.
So we want to say again, and I'm going to sit down with these guys and be right with them. Thank you for being with us
Kim,
today.
thank you.
I know, thank you guys. We love you so much. And you know, I'm going to pray us out before we go right now. We're just going to close out and pray. I'm going to encourage you. And by the way, one person I didn't mention that I need to mention is Michael Wayman. I see you back there. The big old bus. Can we give him a hand? He has helped fund this movement. You want to support Michael's bus. He's awesome. Dr. Sarah's son Lou as well as a great supporter of the Take Your Power Back show. We love you guys. So let's bow our heads for a second. You know, I'm not going to say bow your heads. Lift your eyes to heaven. Lift your eyes to heaven. Look up. Look up. Father, we come to you in the name of Jesus. Father, we're so grateful. You are the provider. Father, you give us the soil. You give us the seed. You give us the food, the water, the nourishment. You give us the oxygen. Father, you give us everything we need to be sustained. You give us your word that sustains us. You give us hope, Father. And for all those, God, right now that experience or are experiencing weariness in this country, you say, Father God, there's no rest for the weary, but those that rely upon you, Father, you will allow them in your time to soar on the wings of eagles. So we do not need to be weary because you will refresh our souls. So Father, we pray that you bless these candidates right now, that you bless them, you touch them from the crown of their heads to the soles of their feet. We pray for these Maha leaders. We pray for the audience here and our listeners, our live streamers. We pray, Father, that you begin to give them downloads from heaven. You give them a keen ear to hear your voice, eyes to see what you call them to see, and that heart afresh to restore them fully into alignment with you. For me, for all of us today, Father, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, seek my face and pray, and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear their voice. I will forgive their sin and heal their land. And we're praying for the healing of California. We love you in the healing of this nation. We praise you in Jesus' name. We all say, amen. Welcome to day one. We'll see you tomorrow. Day two. We love you. God bless you. 8:30 a.m. Stockton.
Something doesn't feel right. Across California, people are starting to question the systems meant to serve them.
Stick around, guys. I'm gonna see if I can bring Elaine, I believe is her name, down here for a little bit. Have her walk us through what she was speaking on in regards to when Katie Porter, she's predicting drops and so forth. Maybe get a little background from her.
People are coming together to understand. Leaders are stepping forward. Conversations are happening. People are listening, thinking, engaging. Because the future of California isn't decided for the people. It's decided for them. It's time to take our California back to a better future. United to champion election transparency, giving power back to the people. From ballot box to bread basket, trusted elections keep America fed. It is all connected.
Thank you.
And break down what you were talking to the whole
Where
crowd.
are we going to do it? Right,
Right here. This is live right
You
now.
gonna ask
All
me
right,
some
guys.
questions?
See Elaine, you guys loved her. Let me.
Wait, was I
Sue-
funny today?
No, you were on it. You did your research.
Well, I'm going to do 10 minutes of stand-up every time I get a chance.
All right, Elaine. What?
Hey everybody, we're going to begin to move the candidates into interviews. So media is here. We've got media throughout the room. Start pulling those candidates into the media room. We're going to ask everybody to start heading out, but go get your t-shirts before they're gone. There too.
Wait a minute. Look what's up behind you.
And time to sing Happy Birthday to America. So you get to sing.
Okay, thank you so much for
Ready?
coming.
We're going to do Happy Birthday to America
This is
first.
Lauren Cardinale. I'm running for Stockton Supervisor. On 3, we're going to sing Happy Birthday to America. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear America. Happy birthday to you.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Pick up where you left off. I know your mic was cut off as you were speaking in regards to what's coming up with the election and how the left is trying to take over.
Well,
in regards to the Katie Porter part.
So, okay, first of all, what I was talking about before my mic was cut off is about the way that we do polling. Polling is super simple. It's not as complicated as people think. A bunch of guys go in a room, they figure out what they want the outcome to be, they put the candidate's name, they make the questions around the outcome that they want, and then they send it to a select group of people. So what they're trying to do is poll Democrats to keep them at a podium above 5%. And that's what you've been seeing. So if they don't poll an independent, which they will not, you won't see an independent at a podium. And that's how the Democrats block independents from getting on the stage. And that's why you only get the Democrats that they chose. And this year, unfortunately, we have a terribly shallow bench. Terrible Democrats. We have 2 Republicans that cannot get out of the teens. So what we don't have is an independent, which could split that up, and I'm upset about that, and I'm trying to work through it, and hopefully I will get a podium.
Now, give us a little background about yourself. What made you decide to run for governor?
So my name's Elaine Colati. I've lived in California since 1991, and I am a developer and an entrepreneur. I started an undercover billionaire in Fresno, got very involved in farming, and then I, of course, build houses to pay my bills, including my farming bills, because housing is profitable and farming is very challenging. The Pacific Palisades fires came, burned down, my business and everything that has to do with my livelihood, and I am pissed off. I'm pissed off because there's no money to fix, unfortunately, the Palisades or Altadena or Malibu, and we have to depend on ourselves. Our insurance left the state in 22, and I just decided, look, I can do a better job with my eyes closed, my hands tied behind my back than Gavin Newsom. I'm going to run.
There's many candidates out here. What sets you aside from all the other candidates, and what should Californians vote for you?
Why should okay? First of all, the question is, what sets me aside or sets me above other candidates? The current bench is pretty shallow. I mean, I can run a business better than anybody that's up there. Obviously, I have a background in that. Steyer is the only business person that's running, and he's, I don't know, gone off the rails. I don't know what he's anti-capitalism. He said it publicly. Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist society, number one. Number two, I'm motivated by the things that I've seen, and I want to fix those, and so I've written policy to fix those. I have really good policy. Number three, I'm an entrepreneur. I believe in economic development. I want to bring business back to our state on a ground level. So small business, Main Street, sales tax, Bradley Burns, tort reform, getting rid of legal in all of our businesses. 50% of our businesses are in litigation. If you're going to open a business in California, you stand a 90% chance of getting into litigation. So for me, best thing I can do is tell you, I've talked to 40 mayors across the state. They want safe streets and economic development, and I'm going to provide that.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you for the time.
You bet. Thank you for letting me chit chat.
All right,
Well
guys.
said.
There you guys have it.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna go back to the media room. I won't get no cell service. Think about the group the candidates that were out here. She was the one who caught my attention. She seemed like she was out here bringing genuine answers to every single question that was asked, and was not afraid of being and showing who she really is. So we're going to leave it at that. They're going to start getting ready here for tonight's dinner. I will be attending the dinner. There's no live streaming. That's going to take place throughout the dinner. I'm going to have dinner with them, get a chance to chit chat with some of the other candidates and so forth in regards to content in the stream, guys. We'll pick it up tomorrow at 1 o'clock for their panel that's going to be up here in regards to election, and then I believe it's the 3:30 or 2:30 start to the governor and state candidate debate, guys. Anybody else you guys might want to hear from? I think that was pretty much it. We're going to have the rest of the candidates up here tomorrow. She was the only one that was not going to be able to attend tomorrow's debate from those that were here. In regards to Shad Bianco, have no word if he's going to show up. Most likely not. And it sounded like Steve Hilton was only going to attend the summit through a Zoom call for today only. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, and we will go from there, guys. You're welcome, Stacy. We still have that raffle, guys, to keep the stream funding. We raise funds for the lodging, we raise funds for meals, and we raise funds for fuel, but we still need funding to keep the stream running. The stream has bills besides just the traveling funds. Right now we're doing that raffle, $5 per entry. First place winner was going to take 2 t-shirts. One will be the Take Our California Back t-shirt. Second t-shirt will be a t-shirt donated by January yesterday. It's a Missing Smiles of Kern County t-shirt. On top of that, you're going to get the 1776 to 2026 250th anniversary upcoming birthday for the United States. It's a beautiful hat right in front of the lid. This is the Niner hat, but right in front has the Founding Fathers printed on it. And then on top of that, you have a sticker from Take Our California Back and a couple of IR2 media. If you guys want me to sign the merch for you, I'm more willing to sign it. If not, you guys could take the merch like that. Second place will be the hat, the same hat in a different color. But our links are there. $5 per entry. You could enter as many times as you guys want. You could use Venmo, PayPal, Zelle, Cash App, buy me a coffee, and gifts and go. All right, guys. We'll leave it at there. We'll pick it up again, like I said earlier, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Until then, thank you, mods, for hanging in there and watching over the chats. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Katina. And we'll go over to our YouTube mods. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Uncle Bill. Thank you, Trina. Thank you to our other mods, Mama Rita, Dispatch. So until then, you all stay safe, be blessed, and peace. We'll catch you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Saturday, what's tomorrow? 25th, 26th, 27th. I don't know what's tomorrow, but just make sure your notifications are on. We'll be back tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.